All right, losers, we're live.
Losers.
Losers.
Losers. Yeah. So some of us went to Origins, some of us didn't.
Oh, boo is me. I didn't go.
Boo. Boo earns. I was saying boo earns. No. Anyway, for those people who didn't go to Origins, how was your week?
It was very quiet. I spent a lot of time catching up on work because three of the last 4 weeks I was at different trade shows, the distributor shows and our expo and stuff. So I was pretty beat. So last week I spent most of the week catching up on sleep, catching up on work, spending time with the family, and then watching the videos and stuff, the live features to see what you guys were all up to. So I was telling them off air before you got back. I was half of the time I was glad I wasn't at the show. And then there was half of the time where I was seeing you guys like going out to eat or doing things outside of the show that I was like, man, I wish I was there. But otherwise, it was pretty quiet week for me.
Yeah. Excuse me. Like the first night I got there, me and Daniel, my boss, president of TMG, we went to this place. We went to go get pizza at this late night slice place, which had pretty good pizza, and then right next door to it was a bar that had all of that called 8-Bit Bar and Grill, and they had all these old school arcade games set up on free play.
Nice.
So we ended up going there and
16-bit.
16-bit Bar and Grill, and that was really cool. Like playing all these old school games, playing NBA jams, and just it was kind of neat, just to play all this stuff that I played when I was a kid. But then you realize that, like, I remember being a kid and like thinking, oh man, I wish I could just like I could play Gauntlet for free and just be able to keep playing and playing. It's like, no, this is actually getting kind of boring. It was just kind of like, and another level, yay, just like and another level, yay. So I don't know. I mean, I was all and there was a surprising number of people there that had no interest in playing the games. They were just sitting around, just enjoying the bar aspect of the bar. So
that happens.
It definitely was a lot younger of an audience than I thought.
Yeah.
Were you? Did you see the arcade at Gamma? Did you guys get a chance to check out the arcade they had there? That was a pretty rad arcade.
I didn't get to go to Gamma.
Oh yeah, upstairs at the
that one. Now that was a pretty decent arcade. It did have a lot of good stuff. For a smallish arcade, it was really cool. I'm actually looking forward to that again next year.
Yeah, I may spend some time up there.
Yeah.
When we went
some good pinball up there too. Yeah, the Star Wars.
Gamma, we went to that pinball museum. Went with Brian Pope and Tom Vassell, and I mean they must have had 200 games in there. Have you seen that?
The pinball museum? I've been there before. Yes.
I mean, you think you're going to get mugged when you go there, but I mean the place.
You're talking about the one in Vegas?
Yeah, the one in Vegas.
Oh yeah, that thing's great.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, your mic, Berkey, your mic is a little low.
Yeah.
If you can amp it up.
Well, I'm on my iPad sitting on my porch smoking a cigar, trying to decompress a little. I saw the Alaboom. I thought I need to get back on here. I've been working too much.
Yeah, I realized that I actually accidentally sent you the invite. So surprise, here you are. No man, you had a giant. Not to kiss your butt or turn this into an ad for your company. But you had a giant space for your to show off your tables. Plus, it seemed like every person who was demoing had one of your tables. It seemed like.
Yeah, I was so grateful for all the partners, all the publishers that enjoy the toppers and the all the friends in the industry. I was able to partner with Mayday Games, and so we tricked out their booth, and Cool Mini or Not had a ton of them, and Gray Fox and Arcane Wonders and Tasty Minstrel and Capstone, and I mean they were everywhere you went. Czech Games had them, and North Star Games and Eagle Griffin, and Gil Hova got a topper for his, and he was so excited. This was so cool because he was a little cool to me at first. He goes, well, I don't know. I'm a small publisher. And then as he kept seeing them, and then he got one, and he was just like, this is the best thing ever. Look how the colors work with my booth. And he goes, everybody talks about this. And he's just like, he was so excited. It was like, that's the good stuff, you know. That's just the stuff you can't put a price on.
Well, that's cool. I mean, so obviously things are going well for your little slapdash company that you put together there.
I don't know. You know, when Gabe Toppers was just a dream, I remember a year ago showing Stefan Brachot from Yellow my little crappy 2-minute video with my wooden prototype. And he tapped the screen and he goes, I want one of these right now. And so many people, you know, Scott too, he took a liking to the Toppers and was so gracious and kind to us to get it on Board Game Geek TV.
Whoa. This Scott, gracious, kind. Are we sure we're talking about the same person?
And, you know, and then having them in the hot games room like he does.
Yeah.
Giving such a fantastic presentation to that convention. And I mean, I've
We had
so
him
many
at spring
people
too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's spring. And I just can't, my heart is so full of gratitude for everyone. I just, and so it's like the dream, this little thing that we're just hoping might be something. And all of a sudden it's like, you know, this might have some legs, and this, it's very exciting.
Literally, it might have legs.
We need legs. We need
You've
legs.
been looking at my prototype booth, haven't you?
No, that's cool. I'm glad I was wrong. I'll say that all day long.
You bet against?
Did you really?
When he first showed, I'd said this story before. This is nothing new. When he first showed it to me, I was just like, I don't know. I mean, people are gonna want this, and I then I looked over and it looked like I had like reached into his heart and torn it apart. And I was just like, I just don't see people wanting this. You know, I mean, this is, why would they want this if they could just have, their table's gonna do the same thing. You know, all you're doing is just kind of prettying it up. You know, and just like.
Well, I'm happy to say the first time he told me, I think I was pretty ecstatic for him. I thought it was going to be a huge success. And
let's stop kissing ass here.
No, ask
a lot of people
He
have
talked to me at the
tables.
very beginning.
But to have the well on your table without replacing the whole table. It seems logical.
Look, I already said I was wrong. I mean,
what?
Let's grind it out for a little longer.
We need to make some memes about Lance being wrong.
Yeah, well,
did someone video clip that? Him admitting he's wrong? I don't think we get it very often.
Clip that. Clip it.
Yeah, clip it, please. Somebody in chat, clip it.
Nah.
Well, he definitely pile drives me at Origins.
Oh, that was good though. I felt.
Oh yeah, what was that all about? Let's hear that story. I saw the picture and I want to know what the lead up to that was.
I don't know. He was he was mouthing off like normal, and I had to put him in his place.
Well, this big lug, you know, he's like Andre the Giant, right? I mean, he's got to weigh 500 pounds at least, and he jumps.
Wow!
And well, just live with it. Just live with it. And so then he's on my back, and I'm lifting him totally in the air. Now, I want you to know his feet were off the ground, but then it turned into one of the all-star wrestling battles of epic proportions, and he did pile drive me.
What?
Out of love.
Out of love.
Did you take him to the floor?
Land on my knee there, buddy. You know.
Oh well, you know.
I'm still hobbling from it.
Onto the concrete.
No, he was already lying on the ground, and I gave him an elbow drop, which may have surprised him a little. So.
Well, you know what? I've been working on the claw. You know, Baron von Vroschka move, and it's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
That guy was awesome.
I love Baron von Roschka. He was.
And Big Van Vader, Leon White, passed away today. That makes me sad. He was a great wrestler.
That's back when wrestling was real, man.
Yeah, when they actually when it was real, when they killed men in the ring,
He had the Crusher, and he'd come out with his cigar, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take you down. I'm gonna show you something."
Yes, that was Baron von Raschke, and he would just grab the top of their head, and it was so you would goose step around the ring.
Goose step around them. He was my favorite. But Dr. X, he was great, and Scrap Iron Kadaski, and the High Flyers. Those guys were awesome.
Those are all like the old AWA guys.
Oh yeah.
They wrestled up in Larry the Axe Hennig.
Yep.
Father of Kurt, Mr. Perfect Hennig.
And what was Sheik Aldenon El Casey or something like that?
Yep. They had and then the AWA then got kind of bought up by they basically became WCW, which then of course got swallowed up by the WWF, but whatever.
Yeah, and Wahoo McDaniel.
Ooh, Chief Wahoo McDaniel.
He was the man. Was a big deal.
But anyway, so David, I played a few games at the old Origins. I showed off Emperor's Choice a few times. Which got good reception from people. They enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to running the Kickstarter for that. I showed off. I played Welcome to. I thought that was cute and fun. A little like how it's like there's an app for it, so people can either they can play on the sheets or play on the app. And I don't know how much I like seeing other people just sitting there poking away at their phones, and while I'm trying to play it. I mean, I understand it's no big deal, but I don't know. I'd just rather there wasn't an app for it. But I realize that not everybody's going to have a ton of those sheets or whatever, so I get that. What else did I play?
Yeah, Welcome to is great.
Well, great is a strong word, but it's good. I mean, as far as a roll and write goes, I think it's pretty good. I'd rather play Steamroller so I can play a roll and write though.
I hear that's really good.
Steamrollers, it's great.
Yeah.
The designer's a really nice guy too, Eric Hanuis or whatever his name is.
Hanoi.
That too.
What are you mixing up there? Are you mixing up a witch's brew or what are you doing?
I am
a lot of paint. I saw a lot of paint go in there.
It is okay. So, Age of Sigmar. Age of Sigmar releases. Warhammer releases Age of Sigmar, version 2 on the 30th of June. So and then the Night Haunt army, which I have a bunch of models for, which are these spooky pony guys. I'm painting these up, but I want to, for their bases, what I want to do is I want to have like a boggy, swampy base. And so they sell these little jars that are about this big. Actually, I can just grab one of them. They sell these jars like this of this stuff that's called sterling mud, which is just basically a goop that you put on a base, and then when it dries, it gets all crackety and has texture to it. But you can make a bunch of sterling mud by just taking a little bit of sand, some just basically standard workers putty, for just putting up drywall, spackling paste basically. Spackling, yeah. And then just color. So right now I'm just mixing. You probably can't see it, but I mean, as I'm poking my camera with this,
three-dimensional.
Yeah, I know. So I'm just mixing it up. So, and then you keep it in a jar so it doesn't dry out. And so for about $2 worth of stuff, I'll have, and those little jars or whatever sell for $7 a piece. But for $2, I'll have all the all the stuff I need for pretty much more bases than I'll ever need in my life. So it's just I don't know. I kind of
get a big wad of it on that stick and hold it up.
All right. So and you can see, yeah. Okay, so it's goopy. Yeah, it's goopy, but then when it dries solid. But it takes it dries overnight, so you can take a lot of time to like build parts of it up and stuff like that. You can also make little craters and then take what's called like the real water. Like there's lots of different things like these real water epoxies, and you can fill those puddles up. You can put like colors into those puddles, so then it'll look like it's all boggy, and then you can put some dried sprigs of grass and stuff just to kind of complete the look of it. I'm really excited.
What kind of sand are you using?
Just playground sand. I was lucky enough that one of my neighbors was actually putting in a bunch of was doing some work in the backyard, putting a patio, and they had a giant mountain of sand that they were using. And I just walked over and I said, "Can I get like a bunch of it?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." I just so I didn't have to pay for the sand. So
there's some coarser sand that you can get fairly inexpensively that you might find works for you. Gives some different textures like rocks and things.
Oh no, I have tons of that. But for this stuff, you don't want coarse sand because you don't want there to be like lumps and stuff like that. You can go to Home Depot and buy like a 25-pound bag of sand, like coarse sand, for like $3, and it's like you'll never run out of it if you're using it for modeling. I mean, for models. I am really excited about the new Age of Sigmar rules. I mean, people are gonna figure out ways to loophole it all day long, which I think is stupid. I get in arguments with my the people I play Warhammer with all the time. I was like, why are you doing this? Just because the letter of the law says this, this is stupid. They're like, well, until they fix it, I'm gonna do it. But I'm more of a casual player. I just like creating. I just like, and I'm like, my win percentage at Warhammer is like maybe 20%, but I just think it's fun to play, and I don't really take it all that seriously. But anyway, there you go. I got a big old jar of this stuff, and I'll be able to use that for my boggy bases. That was yay! I did that. What else did I play at Origins? I played Reef.
How is that? Good. I was curious about that. First, was there any sharks in it? And second, how was the game?
I don't remember seeing any sharks. Sorry, but the game is fun. The game is fun. What?
There's a shark promo.
there is a shark promo?
Dun, dun, dun. All right, I'll have to look at that game then.
It's a fish.
Oh, don't lie to me like that.
But you can make it look like a shark.
It's only on the Geek Store, right?
I don't know. No, we don't have it.
I didn't get a promo. I'm mad now. I want a promo.
I know, right?
I played.
You bought it, right?
Yeah, I bought it.
Did you buy a Coimbra?
It was gone when I got there, and yeah, plus everything I heard about Coimbra is like, oh yeah, it's fun, and meaning I'll play it twice and never play it again. So
you're so jaded, man.
I can wait until Hot Games Room and play it there, and then I don't have to buy it, and I don't have to worry about it taking up space on my table, and I don't in my gaming room and whatever. And then
but the cover's pretty.
It is. The cover is very pretty.
It has little dice castles.
Do those have any? I walked by that and I just had one question. Do they function as anything in the game?
My wife is enticing me with a soda. One moment, please.
They have a color.
Is that all it takes?
Track of the colors.
Give me a soda, Lance.
You need them.
The dice are the color.
Wait,
right?
Joe, you were at Origins?
Of course, I was at Origins.
You didn't come by my booth.
I actually walked by your booth and saw you there many times, but there was always somebody like filming, and I didn't want to be like, "Hey, Aldi."
Oh, well, yeah.
But I did the second I got.
For the record, I don't mind
that. Wow. I did though, Aldi. The second I got into Columbus, go to the North Market and get the only at the market sandwich from Katzinger's Deli.
Yeah, that place is rock. I ate there 3 times.
That sandwich alone.
I missed the damn hot chicken though.
We went up to the hot chicken. That was fantastic.
So I had my best sandwich ever in my life this weekend. I went to this place called Brassica. Have you been there?
Yes.
Absolutely the best ever.
Yes. It's fantastic, right?
unbelievable. I never knew it could be so good.
Did you have the lamb bacon?
No, I had a split between the shawarma and the brisket.
Okay. I did the lamb bacon one time, and well, I ate there twice this time, but I did the lamb bacon one time and the brisket another time. But even still, I find that like the sandwich, as great as it is, that side of cauliflower, I just get like a bowl of cauliflower. It's like cooked with like jalapenos or something. It's so good.
Who knew carrots could be so good?
Right? Oh, that
Oh
place
my
is
God.
amazing.
So we walk. It's up. You go north on or south on the street, right out of the convention center. You turn right, and it's about 2 blocks up. You know where Jenny's ice cream is?
It's right across.
It's the block
right
before
there.
Yeah. Jenny's.
It's
so we
Brassica, across the street, Jenny's.
So we went there, and these 2 women in front of us were extolling its virtues, and they were telling us how to order and what to get because they knew we were newbies. And I was there with 2 of my friends, and they were so kind that one of my friends snuck up to the front of the line and paid for their food, and told the cashier just to tell them it was paid for, but keep it anonymous. So she did, and when we got up and sat down, the cashier comes out with free pop and French fries for us as a thank you for paying for their food. It was really sweet.
That's nice.
Yeah. So anyway, Brassica, number 1. I'll go back there again in a heartbeat.
It's awesome.
I think that's the best thing I ate while I was there too. In fact, there was like a whole thing going on in the Panda Slack channel, like in the Origins channel, just like, oh, so excited about Brassica, so excited about Brassica. Fantastic.
I need some more restaurants to lean on in that place. We kept going to the same places, and I'm kind of bored with them now.
So Mark Thomas took us to this place called Condado, which he thought was just past Jenny's and on the other side of the street, and he was right. And when I say just past Jenny's, I mean like 7 blocks
like a mile
just past Jenny's. Yeah. It's a taco place. But I've never had such good tacos with such a wide selection.
Oh, Nada. You went to Nada? Yeah, that was on my list, actually.
No, Condado.
Oh, Condado.
Yeah. Or Condado, maybe. Condado.
We went up to Mao's Chinese. That was just down from Jenny's.
Oh,
man. It's about a mile away, actually. It's about 6-7 blocks more. And we went with Brian Lenz from Grand Con, and that was some fantastic Chinese food. Their General Tao chicken was probably the best I've ever had.
Yeah. Wow.
Did anyone hit Big Fun while you were at Origins?
Nope.
What was Big Fun?
It's the toy store right down the street that has all the retro, 70s, 80s toys.
Walked by it a few times.
I need to remember these things.
Yeah, it's right past Jenny's. It's like it's not even like a block past Jenny's, or maybe a block or 2.
Although on the just past, I think it's just past Jenny's, 2 blocks maybe on the right. Yeah. I stumbled upon a place called Monte Cristo House of Cigar, and we went in. We were going back from dinner, and we were gonna play a prototype I've been working on. And we stopped in there, and the guy goes, well, we have a lounge. You can use our lounge. So went in, smoked cigars, and bring your own drinks. Any drink you buy, you can bring into the place.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna be going back there next year. That'll be our one night hangout.
Well, I have to go with you, brother.
You will, Burkett. I thought you when I was there. and they had Davidoffs, which was very nice. Oh. They're kind of hard to come by.
Yeah, for sure. We had some fun with cigars at the Secret Cabal meetup there on Friday evening at the Gordon Bruce Brewery.
Good.
Got to hang out with Bender and those guys and Bonacor and all those, and we sat and had some cigars and had some good food.
Nice. Did anyone go to that German deli place that I've heard so much about, Schmitz or Schmitz?
Yeah, we went
to
Schmitz
sausage place.
Yeah.
And that sausage place is fantastic.
I've heard good things about it like the last 2 years, and I always forget to go. And
did you ride the Autobahn of sausage?
Yeah. I hear it's amazing.
They call it the Autobahn.
All right, who's making all the noise?
What's going on?
Jim, is that you?
think it's Jim.
It's Jim. There it is.
What world is this? The world
What was the noise?
crashing.
It sounds like a car ran through your living room.
No, I had my mic live when I switched away from the screen, and my wife was making hummus.
Was that a blender or something?
Oh, it was the food processor.
It was the food processor.
Dude, I thought someone was dying.
Well, it's a strange noise because at the same time the cuckoo clock was going off, so it's probably a nice cacophony.
Oh, it was quite enjoyable. So, Aldi, what was the coolest thing you saw at Origins this year?
Oh,
like if there's one thing you could take away from the show.
That game The Visitor.
I
had a lot of fun with that. It's a 2 versus many game.
2 versus many.
Yeah, there's a master. It's like the alien is the master, and there's a kid who's assisting the master, and they're trying to figure out a secret code. And by code, I mean like a topic or a concept. So the concept might be things that are made of metal, right? Like that's the rule hidden.
Okay.
And the alien needs to collect objects that are made of metal to like escape the planet. It's basically sort of E.T. the board game.
Really?
So the kid is trying to figure out the code, as well as all of the governmental agencies that are trying to catch the alien and dissect it. So it's competitive amongst the government agencies. So like FBI, NSA, CIA, all these, whatever, every agency, DOE. And each person is trying to figure out the code. Whoever figures out the code first wins. If the kid figures out the code, the alien and the kid win. If the agency wins, that person who's playing that agency wins. Whoever gets the code first. Huh. So it's sort of co-op, but not, and sort of like it's Team Zendo, as Chad Roberts says.
So who makes it?
So a company called Resonym.
I have not
Reso,
heard of them.
RESONYM. We played it 6 times in a row.
Really? That good, huh?
It was like it was just kind of fun. Like it was kind of fun to be the alien. So you could basically make up the rule. You can make up any rule you want. And what you have is like a deck of object cards. So something like, it's a picture of a shovel or a picture of a tree or a waterfall or a volcano or a ruler, all this just objects, right? Or things. And then you give the alien one of the cards and it's face down, and the alien will tell you if it passes the test or not. And by passing the test, it goes inside the force field. The ship is like, that's just kind of like a weird thematic thing of saying yes, it passes or no, it doesn't. And so as you learn more information, you kind of can figure out what the code is. It's you get to see other information being presented, and the kid does tests as well of the code, and the kid can do like multiple tests. So you get to see like things that pass or fail or whatever. Cool. And eventually you kind of narrow in on it. The time when I was the alien, my clue or my code was things that move, right? And things that move is weird because like almost everything moves. So I had to make judgment calls of like, does a basketball move? Right? Like that was, and I said yes. But there was like a mountain. It's like, okay, no, that doesn't move. There's a tree. Does a tree move? Well,
if it's blowing in the wind, but it doesn't really move.
You had to come up with like the most generic, like, and they did not get it. Nobody got the code. So I lose and the kid loses, right?
Oh, okay.
And all of the agents win. So it's pretty cool. It was fun.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
It's like a lighter version of Zendo and more accessible and more fun, like way more fun for me. Like I like Zendo, but it just kills me. It's too hard.
Okay, that's cool.
That was the best game I saw. I also liked Let's Make a Bus Route, but that was not at the show. Steph Hodge brought her copy with her, and we played it a bunch. Like it's like a roll and write where it's a shared board where you're picking up passengers and dropping them off at certain locations on this board, and it's very satisfying because you're picking people up and then dropping them off.
Interesting. I've not heard of that one either.
Yeah, it's an import. It was not at Origins, but it was very fun.
Huh. Interesting.
I also got to play one of the new unlocks with Keith.
I haven't played the unlocks yet. I heard good things about them though.
Yeah, it was a Western based one. It was really good.
I'd like that. I like Western.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Also, Deadpool versus the World. Love it.
Yeah, that's the one where you write your own cards, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a variant of Cards Against Humanity, apples to apples.
Right. Except you can make your own stuff.
But you're allowed to make your own word, like your own creativity, right? So you get a picture of Deadpool doing something stupid, right? Or something kind of naughty or something kind of edgy. and then you get a hand of captions with a fill in the blank. Right. So
well, I'm sure I know
blank.
why they did that. They keep the rating down so Marvel would approve it.
Yeah, it's definitely, there are definitely some pictures that are like, what is going on? You know, like kind of like, and we're playing with Beth Hiley, who's works in the BGG booth with us, and we're playing on stream, and she immediately went naughty. And I was like, what are you doing?
That's awesome.
So I was like, okay, you're gonna win. So she just
awesome.
crushed us with all these. Yeah, it's super fun. I'm bringing on the cruise.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think I've got it on my wish list. I'm thinking about picking it up. I'd heard it was kind of funny. A lot of people are kind of sour on the whole Cards Against Humanity, you know, apples to apples thing, but this is definitely different in that you get to write in the punchline. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're just limited by a number of cards in your hand. Right. So, you're limited only by your imagination.
Pretty much. I mean, you know, the captions are fill in the blank, which is, you know, could be good and bad. You might get stuff that just doesn't match up, but we had a real good time with it. Many laughs were had.
So it'd be kind of like on the same kind of fun level as like Time's Up for like a convention game to get like 8 people sitting around and just play that.
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, that's cool. I like that kind of stuff, especially for conventions.
It's not Cards Against Humanity. It's
right. You can keep it clean if you played in a family environment.
You can keep it. Yeah, you can keep it clean.
No, that's cool. Yeah, I actually had my eye on it when I saw it at one of the trade shows. I looked at the box and I'm like, well, this seems kind of cool. You know, you make your own cards so you can keep it as dirty or as not dirty as you want to. So. Yeah, it sounded interesting.
Very cool. Did anybody get to play The Mind?
No.
We played a ton of The Mind.
I would have liked to have seen that. I didn't see it online either.
I saw it played in the bar on 2 a lot.
Yeah, Ryan from Mayday Games gave me a copy, and I played that at Geek Way of the West, and it was late at night, and I was like, I don't know if I have bandwidth for it, but it was so fun. We played 3 times. I mean, it was fantastic. I love that game.
Yeah, I played it with Eric Martin, Matt Fantastic, and one other person. What was it? Brandon Parsons from Andrew Wolf. We had a 5-player game.
Andrew Wolf, the designer of Thanos Rising?
Yes. Yeah, we beat it. Like we lost right away. Like we got out of sync because there was like lots of distractions and stuff. But then our second time we played, we were spot on. We hit it, like we killed it. It was great.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that game, but I haven't seen it play yet.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. It's so interesting with different player groups because we played with 4 different player groups, and just getting everyone's, you know, just their body language and being able to have intuition. And then just the tension that it creates, especially as you're moving forward into the 5th and 6th round of the game, is really, really fun.
That's sweet.
There are definitely some people who are non-fans. Like it could miss for you, right? Like there's nothing you can do. And that kind of person is not that fun to play with. So if you get someone in the group that just like, try to find another group and play it with a group that's into it and like in the spirit of it. And you know, it's unreal. Like one of the best. Lincoln's been saying it's like some of the best gaming experience he's had in his life. Which I'm like, that's a little much, but yeah, I can understand why he would say it because some of the feelings you get, the adrenaline rush of getting through.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing.
Did you guys see the Origins attendance was up almost 10% from last year? I mean, they hit 18,600 unique.
It felt really busy. Like
even with the spread out, the way they had the different halls staggering instead of all being one hall.
It was crowded. It was crowded the first day. It was really crowded in the exhibitor hall. So I assume people did well.
It's the first time that I actually felt like Origins felt a little bit Gen Con-ish because the people with backpacks walking in the aisles, bumping into one another. We've never really had that at Origins before because the vendor hall was way over to the right. And then you'd go to the other great big hall, and there was hardly anything going on. And all of a sudden, the big center area, I mean, it was packed.
That first day, for sure, it was just jammed. I almost felt like turning back around. I had an hour out of the booth, and I almost felt like turning back around and going back to the booth because it was so crowded.
I can't say I've been in the last six Origins. I can't say I ever felt like I was so crowded that I couldn't walk through anywhere to get anywhere. So that would be a very weird feeling.
So I've only been to Origins like 2 or 3 times, but it seems really cliquey convention, though. It seems like people have their groups of people, and they don't want to talk to anybody else.
Yeah, that's almost any convention nowadays, though. I mean,
I think that's just the way it's going.
Sadly, I don't feel like 5 years ago, I felt like I could walk up to any group and they'd be like, "Oh, come on, sit down and play." And the last couple of years, it hasn't felt like that. Like at certain conventions, like BGG always felt pretty open. Even at Dice Towers, the smaller conventions never seem that way. But the Gen Con's Origins, if you don't have a group preset to play, you're not going to have an easy time finding people to sit down and hang with.
So I haven't had that problem at Gen Con, but I follow a lot of people on Twitter in the industry, and a lot of them that are very vocal seem to be extremely aloof and almost like little, I'm too cool for you when they go around. At least I felt that way at Origins.
Oh, that's a shame. You know, this isn't the kind of industry you should have that kind of ego in. We're a very niche industry, and I never found that persona very appealing to be around anyway. So I just assume not hang out with those people.
Yeah, I never really had that encounter.
Kind of feel that way too, Jim.
It was always a lot of fun everywhere we went. We had, I don't know if you know Chris Whitpan from Game All Night and Clay from Capstone and Kentucky Mike. They did a meetup in that one room on Thursday evening, and it was just a lot of fun. A lot of people were engaging, and one other thing is you could go to those side booths. Like Cool Mini or Not was in Convention Hall A. The center was B, but then C was where I was at with Mayday Games, and that actually didn't have that crazy amount of traffic in that side. So you could just sit down pretty much at any table. Yellow had a big play area over there, and there was plenty of spaces for you to sit down and play a game.
Well, I find it quite interesting how people who I've read over the course of a year talking about being inclusive and wanting to meet people and spread the gamerness and all this business in person are exactly the opposite. And that's what it struck me a couple of times there with a couple of people, and I was just like, really? Why the hell am I going out of my way to even say hello?
Yeah,
that's a shame.
That's all right. It's just the way it is.
We all put our pants on at the same time, right? 2 legs at a time.
Yeah.
I haven't hopped into my pants in about 15 years. So no, I am a sit on the bench, put one leg on, put the other leg on, shimmy them up, suck it in real tight, button them up. That's me.
And make sure that you're not pointing at a window when you make the button, just in case.
Right? Yeah, I've broken a window or two in my day. I gotta be careful about that.
Jim, I feel like there's a lot of outgoing introvertism. I don't know if that's a term, where you're an outgoing social person, but when it comes to like really interfacing and hanging with people, they're introverts, right? And I'm a bit like that myself. Like I'm an outgoing person. I talk to anybody. I stand up in front of the BGG Con crowd. It's 3,000 people. But it's a little hard to get like I go to the bar on 2 and there's 500 people there and I know all of them, but I feel a little bit on the outside. Like I feel like I'm not in there.
That's gotta be a tougher problem for you, because I'll go to that bar and I don't know anybody. And I'm scanning around looking for someone to make eye contact and give you the signal that, yeah, it's okay to approach me. Yeah. And it just doesn't come. I mean, I'll buy a drink for anybody or chat with anybody, but and it's people that I recognize from their media presence, who I think have been seduced by their own media presence.
Well, I think there's also that false sense. I think there's a lot of people that seem very outgoing on their social media sites and on their videos and streams, but when you get them in person, it's a totally different ballgame, because now they don't have that security blanket of the internet to protect them. So I feel like you may get a false sense of how open and outgoing these people really are, and then in person they're a shell of what they portray themselves to be.
Yeah.
Well, that may be true.
The bar situation is weird too. Like I'm not sure where to go after hours in Gen Con or Origins, because I didn't ever make it to that third hall. I guess that's where the open gaming was, right?
Yeah.
but I didn't have any games to play. So I'm like, if I gotta go over there, I should have a game. That's why I went back to the bar. Maybe somebody will have a game. I don't know. But maybe the open gaming would be a little more open to that stuff where you have your game, you hold it up and see if anybody wants to play. Like that's what I do at BGG-Con if I'm ever kind of like, oh, I need to do something. Let's go grab a game, hold it up, grab people as I walk around.
I think
like,
it's a little different than a bar, right?
Yeah.
Like Hall C, there was an awful lot of that going on. But the traffic over in Hall C was, you know, I was with Mayday Games, and the people were not coming over there to that.
Yeah, I think that exhibit hall kind of was a blocker, not a blocker, but you walk through Hall A, that's where we went. You walk through the exhibit hall, and it didn't look like there was much more after that.
Right.
So what happened when the exhibit hall closed? Did it block off the entryway?
You couldn't cut through A. You couldn't cut through the exhibit hall in the middle to go to from A to C.
So you had to go around the
outside and around that concourse, line. I don't know. The exhibit hall was bigger this year, and that was the only way they could make it bigger. Put it in B. Because A could not extend the wall because it's kind of a problem.
It does sound like a problem. Hopefully they find a workaround. I feel like not having the hall be one open hall where you can look across the hall and be like, oh, I know those guys over there. Let me go play with them. I think that probably hurt the ability to like meet up with your friends and stuff. Because if you're in a different hall, it's like, oh, I'm not going to walk all the way around there now. It's like half a block by the time you walk out to the main hall.
That was kind of our thought. Is like we'd go back to the hotel at the Hyatt and drop our stuff off. We come down and it's like, well, are we going to walk all the way back a quarter mile to do stuff, or are we just going to hang here in the bar?
Yeah,
or the Hyatt.
I think in Origins in particular, if you're not the bar type, the best thing is to either plant yourselves in Hall C or wherever the open gaming is, or set up groups ahead of time to hang out and play in your hotel lobbies or the tables, because a lot of the hotels will have an area where you can play, in a lobby area, whatnot.
It was really full.
Yeah,
it was a struggle. Even like when Lance was making us play the Emperor's Choice, we had been looking for a table for like 30 minutes.
Oh wow.
And we finally got it. And then
can't you set up some like BGG hot games room in Origins so that you have a place to play?
Nobody in Origins, man. I got no pull.
We got to get you set up, man. I gotta see what I can.
Gen Con is a different story.
Yeah, well, I think Lance had the right idea. I think Gen Con, my evening hangout is going to be the BGG hot games.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta get you guys. Chad Roberts is making VIP badges. He showed them to me today, so they're like backstage passes.
Oh, nice, sweet.
So you gotta just meet Chad and Doris. They're running the room this year for me.
Oh, nice.
And Keith's in there too, actually.
Hey, Chad.
So, oops, I just outed him. He's like,
we have to check out that hot games room at the Hyatt with Game Toppers.
Yeah, I didn't get to go last year because I was in an off-site hotel last year, but this year I'm actually downtown, so I can actually go hang out there a couple nights.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
We had a good time. We had some laughs last year, that's for sure.
Are you there?
I don't think I laughed any harder than I've ever laughed in Werewords. Yeah, every night. I'll be there.
Sweet. That sounds like a plan. You heard it here first, people.
Like Rodney and Steph and you guys, Lance.
Sweet.
Chad.
That sounds like a plan. That'll be fun. Kind of almost have like a mini Alaboom party in the middle of the hot games room. It'd be nice.
Larry will be there.
Barry? Is Barry going to Gen Con?
Oh, Larry.
Oh, Larry.
Larry Lemke.
Larry Lemke. Why does that name sound familiar?
He used to be on the album.
He's
the guy. He's the Bitcoin guy.
No.
That had the thing in his arm, operation. His nerve.
All right, so here's I wanted to mention this now that we have Aldi here, and Alaboom jerseys. What's the latest that we could do it so we have them for Gen Con?
Oh, that would be so awesome.
Shit, it might be too late. I'll find out.
All right, so here's my idea.
It might be too late, but I will say.
I still want to order one for next year.
Yeah, or for BGG Con this year, and
God, I wish I could go.
Well, anyway, so here's the thing. This is my idea that we get them, but we can't decide our own number and our own name for the back of the jersey. It has to be the other members of the Alaboom pick it for us.
It's like a fraternity.
Because like
fraternity
I said,
and sorority, because for all the women that are in here.
Well, no. So like my thing is that like, and you guys can discuss it amongst, but you don't have any say. Like, I want to, for the back of Aldi's jersey, to say DiBiase, for Ted DiBiase,
the $1 million man. Yeah, I do like that.
All it says is just DiBiase on the back. You know, as much as I would love the back of my jersey to say "Last Jedi sucks," you know.
Should we wait? We should draw for who do we get to name and number.
Well, like a secret Santa.
We're gonna work on it together.
No. We gotta work on it together because it takes a village, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, I feel like mine's already done.
Well, yeah, yours is pretty much already done because I had my moment of brilliance and I can't think of anything.
Well, it's still
sure because these are expensive jerseys. You sure you don't want your name on it, like your real name?
No, because what, $70? I mean, if you really want to, I think it's funny.
I think
it's not like it's not cheap, but I mean that's like a dinner out with my family. So right. I mean,
who's gonna be Flounder?
Well, nobody's cool. Yeah, I don't know.
If my jersey name doesn't have some kind of shark reference on it, I'm very disappointed in all of you. The Meg. I'm fine with the Meg.
Here's the thing: if you're only gonna make one jersey, we should make it the names we feel like we want.
No. Because the Alaboom was never formed on the idea of being nice to each other.
That is true.
So I mean, we know it's by giving somebody like. First of all, I wish I could have DiBiase because that's an awesome name, but it wouldn't fit for me.
It means nothing to me though.
But it does mean something, and it's hilarious because it has such a great meaning. So
I can be the Claw.
So instead of doing DiBiase, why couldn't we just put like 5 money signs on the back of all these jerseys?
I was. What if the number was just a money sign? If we just had that. DiBiase, and then he just had a dollar sign walking around because they could do that.
I don't know what they can do.
I don't know. I don't think anyone would get it.
No, other than.
But we would.
But that's not. But I don't know. I'm kind of with Aldi on this.
I'm in the middle.
If you're gonna get something that nice, you want it to be something that you want to wear around other people.
If you're going to be proud of it, it's got to be your own, right? You have to have ownership of it.
Killing your fun.
Lance, nothing is stopping you from buying a bunch of T-shirts, writing what you want on them, and sending them out.
Yeah, but I can't.
Just like Sharpie.
I can't make you wear them, though.
If you sent me a shirt, Lance, I'd wear it at least one night. At least one night.
I'd wear it if you paid me enough.
See, I was trying to think of one for Jim. And it's just, but anything we'd say,
social deduction.
Yeah, social deduction. He would just be all mad. He'd be like, you guys.
Okay, now in this part, I actually kind of agree with Lance. It would be funny as hell to see Aldi.
I know, but it's a $75 funny joke.
It's a $75 funny joke. It is exactly. Seeing Cheech walk around with a Cheech jersey.
Well, but he'll wear that with pride, though.
Well, I couldn't wear that one to work, though. I like one that I could wear to work. Give me Marin.
Yeah. Or Tommy. It's Tommy.
I would love Tommy.
Just Tommy and then I don't know.
Laszlo.
No, I mean, so it's like, well, that's just it. So what would you guys think of for me? It would be something really mean and hurtful, but it would be, but no, like I was trying to think of I was thinking well, no, like I could think of. Well, no, I'm not gonna give you any ideas. But I mean, for Ricano, we'd have to put something
Secret
along.
Cabal?
Well, yeah, I was thinking about that. Just a secret cabal. See.
It's funny, but it's funny only for a minute.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't think that one would ever get old to see them walking around with a secret cabal jersey.
It's like it would always be funny to see. But see, that's when you wouldn't wear it. See, I'd wear whatever you guys got me. I wouldn't care because it would have because it would have on the front it would say Alaboom and the number, which I like. And come on, would you ever get tired of seeing Aldi in a jersey that said like a dollar sign for the number? And Alaboom.
It does have some merit. No, I think I kind of float in the middle here. I think that it would definitely be cute to like, especially if you didn't know, like if we didn't say what you were having to wear and you got to like hand them out at Gen Con and be like, here's your jersey for tonight. And you threw it on and just the surprise and that initial reaction of everyone watching each other put their jerseys on and seeing the goofy names would be hilarious. But I think long-term people would want to have something that they know people would recognize them from if they looked at them from behind and be like, oh, hey, that's Lance or that's Aldi just by the name.
I mean, if you're going to go that route, then everybody should just, I mean, I should just have Undead Viking on the back of it, I mean, and it's just, and then it's no fun, so it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I will defer to everybody else's judgment on it. If they think that it's too likely that we'll, be mean-spirited about it or whatever, I will, like as I said, defer to everyone else's judgment on the situation.
Is there a way? No, wait a minute. Is there a way to put whatever you want on the name on the front, but have like a patch or a name, like a front name thing that has like something funny or cute? Nah, not Velcro, but I mean, it's kind of almost like your
the only thing that you can customize are the names and the numbers.
Oh, that's it.
It's a spreadsheet. You fill out like the thing.
Oh, okay. So there's nowhere else to put like a small, like a small, $76 million man or a small.
No, that's where you get the Miss America banners and wear those.
Now that is a funny idea. You get the jerseys and have a banner to go around.
And the banner can be whatever you want them to say because you only have to wear it once and it doesn't ruin the jersey.
Well, let's Aldi find out if there's any way.
The problem is going on a 2-week cruise. That's the only issue. Is that?
And actually, you know what? Get those banners and write Miss in front of it, so you could be Miss Undead Viking.
Well, my point is, so when do you leave for your cruise, Aldi?
Tomorrow. Yeah, that's a problem. I mean, I might be able to do some work on it on the cruise, so maybe it's not dead in the water. I'll find out tomorrow, though.
Yeah, contact him.
Because if we get the order in, it might be like 4 weeks, 3 weeks.
That should be enough time. Yeah. Just let us know who to PayPal, and we can get it done soon.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the money for me. It's just I want to have them for Gen Con.
Yeah, I'll be talking to Christine tomorrow.
It would be cool to sit in the hot room
on the cruise for like an hour and do the jerseys. Do you guys like that design?
I'm fine with whatever, as long as it sports the group. And
I will. Well, I mean, we should put it to a vote. Somebody should put a little thing in the Facebook group. Vote. Do we want? I mean, black and red or black and hot pink, and then we can just vote for either one. And like I said, I'm tough enough to wear pink. I got no problem.
I am too.
Good.
I thought the pink ones were cool too.
And it's Bret the Hitman Hart, man. I mean, I can.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do black and hot pink, I think we should all pick a Powerpuff Girl name. I want to be Mojo Jojo.
Well, there's one Mojo Jojo, and that's me.
You could be Bubbles.
No. Yeah. There's one of us. We'd have to go by who does the best. Oh, I'm Mojo Jojo. We'd have to see.
Oh, I'm Mojo Jojo.
Oh, I already won. So
I don't know.
Mojo Jojo.
That sounds more Japanese than monkey-like.
Well, he was a Japanese monkey.
I can make the shoulders a different color. Is there a third color for pink?
The guy that did the voice of Mojo Jojo was Mako, right? I mean, who's Japanese. Anyway.
I hope you don't mind.
I might tweak him a little bit. I'm not sure I love that Bauhaus font.
We trust you, Aldi. We know you'll make something cool.
We'll figure it out.
You know what? There you go, Lance. You want to have your cake and eat it too? Let Aldi come up with the names for everyone. Since he'll be on a cruise and an island, he'll basically be on his own anyway.
I can
have creative control, and he can come up with the names.
Can Jim Felly's name be Bastard then?
Yeah.
They can name other people. Don't call me already.
Yeah.
Pick
Hey,
names from Gilligan's Island. I would be happy to be Mary Ann.
I'm sitting there waiting for Rakano to log in, but I think he fell asleep. So I want to air a grievance actually, and this is nothing too. Don't worry, it's nothing. It's nothing very controversial or anything like that.
Is this about Space Force? Are we talking
Hold it, hold
Space
it,
Force?
hold it. I need wine if you're going to air a grievance.
So
All right, I'm ready.
well, now I gotta wait for Aldi to come back because I want to know what his viewpoint is anyway. So we can talk about it in just a little bit.
This doesn't have anything to do with that Facebook post, does it?
Nope. We're staying away.
We're staying away from politics and things like that. But well, I guess tangentially it's sort of attached, but not really. Hey, how did your booth go, by the way, Jim?
I'm gonna grab a drink while we're waiting.
Booth was fine for meeting people. Sucked for sales.
Just tough to like. What do you think? What do you think that you needed to like? How could have been better or
Traffic?
Whatever.
Traffic. I mean, people who stopped and played and took a look and demoed. We probably, if they played a round or two, we sold 8 out of 10. But most people just walked by. That was it.
Yeah, it was our booths, our demo tables were almost always had people. We were doing well. No, it's not bad. I mean, it was Flow of History, Pioneer Days, and Chimera Station.
I think it's probably because you're at the end too. That really has to help because you were close to the sea, weren't you?
You're right there in that traffic lane as people are walking through. So it definitely does help. We had that last year too, and it was awesome. I was actually pretty happy with it because it was just me and Daniel's like, what do you think we should demo? And I said, don't demo those small games. I just got so annoyed. We're like, oh, we're gonna have 3 tables of Okie Dokie going, and I'm just like, no, just it's like, no, show off our big stuff. It makes you look like we're important when like, hey, we'll let you play a game of Pioneer Days. It'll take you about 45 minutes, but that's fine, and it's just like, and then it was like people would get done playing it and I said the big thing is that try to split up the groups, like try to like make sure it isn't like the 3 buddies playing the game, like pull one from a group and like, hey, well, we got like 3 groups of people here that want to play. I mean, is it possible we could get these 3 different? So like then when they're done playing, if all 3 of them say that was really fun, then all 3 of them buy a copy of the game, and it's just like, and that seemed to work really, really well. I mean, it was, people, and then the thing is that we also had like Flow of History and Chimera Station. So if there was a group of 3 guys or whatever, 3 women or whatever, they could each go to a table and check out a game, and I don't know, it worked really well. People, I think we ended up selling out. We sold out of Pioneer Days on Saturday, and then we had some other like games that we had somebody somewhere was demoing Exodus Fleets, like a game that we came out with like at BGG last year, which it was like a little tiny minor sales hit for us. But it's just, it's moving slowly now and it's kind of stagnant. But like we had like 10 copies and somebody somewhere was demoing it. And they all said, yeah, I just demoed this. And then we sold all of them. It was just like, we have no idea who is like, somebody decided to, I'm just going to demo this game. And okay. So that seemed to have helped.
We had that problem last year, though. We had someone that was demoing Arcadia Quest in one of the just back areas, was just checking out the game in the library and running people through it. And they were coming to our booth buying it. We're like, who's demoing this game? We don't have it in our demo table. And I ended up finding out it was somebody from one of the back areas. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was just weird. So
shout out real quick. Pioneer Days is freaking fantastic. We just played that on game night. That was outstanding.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we're really proud of it. It's everybody's like, did you kickstart this? And we're like, no, we just published it. The artist we got was fantastic. We're going to use them for Emperor's Choice, I believe. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's like so I mean, I've talked about the game before, but it's just like I really like the whole like. Usually, when you play a drafting game, the person who picks last, like, always has like, oh, well, I got to take this one thing. Well, no, actually, the person who picks last actually has a lot of power because they have two choices, and whatever thing they don't pick, like, ends up like, you know, pushing up one of these like tracks that eventually like hurt everybody. So it's like they have a lot of power as far as what they can push to actually, you know, start screwing with other people. So I don't know. It's a lot of fun. The dice can be used 3 different ways, which I think is cool. Yeah, everybody who plays it is like, oh, this is really good. You know, so hopefully, you know, we can build off that. And
also, schmoozing wise, Pete, holy crap, that Game of Thrones game doesn't suck. It's really, really good.
What are you talking about? The Song of Ice and Fire?
Yeah, we demoed that. Both of us just completely new to like war games and all that stuff, and I thought it was gonna be super complex. Oh my god, that was really fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. I'll be getting an early copy here hopefully soon, so I can learn it before Gen Con. And I'm excited. I got to play test one of the very early versions of it. Michael had run me through it. This is probably last year. So I know it's gone through a lot of revisions and refinement. So I'm looking, and it played really well back then. So I can't imagine where it's at now. We should be starting to start seeing some of the early production copies coming in soon. So
my son was pretty stoked. I got little Game of Thrones miniatures too. They immediately got played with and fought Overwatch characters.
Nice,
excellent. What was I gonna say?
Oh, all these back if you want to do your grievance.
Oh, okay, good. So here's my grievance. So it's like, and I apologize. I'm kind of stepping on. I'm gonna step on Forrest's toes here a little bit because he's said this before, and I guess I'm just gonna double down on it. There is like, lately I've noticed there is a rampant number of people that will take to social media or that will take to, you know, just whatever, and Facebook, Twitter, you know, whatever feed they have, and they will say like, found out yet another publisher that I liked engages in non-diverse, and I don't want to make it about political thing, but they have a complaint. They have a complaint about somebody. They say somebody was a jerk. They say a company did something shitty. They say that whatever, but they won't name the person. And I take that as like, you want your cake and you want to eat it too, because they'll vague it. They'll say, oh, well, you know, this person's a really crappy person, and then inevitably somebody's going to say, well, who's the person? And then they're just like, oh, well, I can't say the name of the person, but you know, other people have reached out to me through instant messenger and they know who I'm talking about. No, they didn't. Just, you know, it's like, it's such crap, because it's like, you know, it's like, oh, well, I want to be able to like try to trash on people, or like, or it's one of those things where a lot of people know who you're talking about, and like, so they're like, oh, if this is who I think you're talking about, I agree. What a crappy company, you know. And it's just like, okay. And then the people that don't know, eventually somebody's going to say it. So you're still spreading the word. You're like, oh, I don't want to name and shame. I just want to make sure everybody knows that I'm in the know and I know who's a crappy person. You know, screw you. Have the balls to say the name of the person and call them out. And the reason they don't is because they don't want to like, well, you know, be like, they don't want to have a company like not like, because it gives them complete deniability, get all of the credit in the world.
I want to take a time out here. I completely agree with just that last sentence you said. The post that you're talking about, I went to that Twitter, I found that guy, and I said, hey, just out of curiosity, what in particular? I came out I just posted. I didn't even message him. I tried to, and I was like, hey, what exactly did I do that made you think I was a chauvinist? You know, very open. Crickets. 3 people were talking on it before. There's like 4 comments, and then nobody responded. And I was like, okay, we're not going to have a dialogue about this? Like, what exactly happened to make you think that? And yeah.
But it's not just that one, Forrest. I mean, that obviously like really irked me because you're my guy and you're my friend, and I was just like, screw you, back up your words. But because I saw that you posted that, but it goes like, but tons of people are like that. They're just like, and people that are like, I respect, but it's like, if this person really is that, because you've said that before, name them and shame them. Say it out loud. If you feel it, say it. And it's just like, but nobody will, because it's like, oh, well, but what? Well, one, like usually that person is going to have friends and they're going to come down on you, and you're like, oh, but I don't want to deal with any negative. I just want people to know that, like, I hate something, and it's just like just either say it out loud or shut your mouth. And I just and I know that's probably not a very popular opinion. I know we're supposed to be able to, like, there's like a trade-off there where we want to be able to feel safe and express ourselves and everything like that, and I get it, but goddamn, does that stuff piss me off. I just and you know what, the person probably is, that company maybe is shitty, or that person is an asshole, but it's just, God, it just really annoys me. It just really freaking irks me that we live in this day and age where we can just blast out whatever we want to say.
Did you have slam books in high school?
Slam books.
Slam books. I'm not.
I played Slamwich in high school.
This is the modern day version of the slam book. It's like a little book of paper that gets passed around, and you say bad things about people.
Oh yeah,
so it's anonymous.
Yeah, it's anonymous. You don't get to. Is it the same? I don't know. Maybe it's not the same, but sort of. It's like a modern day version of it. It existed for all time, at least in that sense.
Yeah, but that's just it. See, like Forrest, he called the guy out. He said, "What did I do?" And like there, he could if it was about Forrest, the guy was saying, it was a perfect opportunity for him to say, "Oh, well, this is my problem with you." But and maybe he hasn't read it. Who knows? Maybe he didn't see it. I miss tweets all the time, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But I mean, you hear, but see, the thing is that if he really felt that strongly about it, if he said, "Oh, well, Forrest is a piece of crap, and if these board game companies are going to support them, I'm not going to support them either," which is bullshit. He'll still buy their goddamn games. He'll still play them. It isn't like he's like, it's like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you've got quite the plethora of board game publishers that are purchasing your, that are backing you on this, Forrest. I know it's like, we sponsor your channel, Team G does. We're proud to do that. It's just we appreciate the work that you do. It's just like, I could go and find that guy's BGG. And I think I did, and he has TMG games, if I remember. I don't remember exactly, but it was one of those things where it's like, I doubt he's going to be selling them off, trading them anytime, and that's just it. We want, and I get it. You feel strongly about things. You want to, but it's just, I don't know. It's just, and maybe he will. Maybe he'll burn every game he's got that from every company that ever, or maybe he'll sell them and donate them to a charity, or who knows, right? Maybe he feels that strongly, and more power to him if he does. But the thing is that why not? If he feels that strongly, why not just say it out loud? Why not just stand up on the soapbox and say, Forrest Bauer is a piece of crap, and any company that backs his Kickstarter, his Gen Con Kickstarter, is a piece of shit for doing so, and I'll never play another one of their games. Why not just stand up and say that out loud?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't clip that little piece and play it on air. That would be taken out of context. It would do a disservice to people.
Yeah. But no, it's just, and that stuff. That stuff pisses me off, and it really makes me angry. And I'm not an angry person, but it's just everybody wants everyone to know, hey, that they're like a good person, or they're it's like, oh, I believe in this cause, I believe in that cause, and it's just like, all right, and I'm not saying that some of them are. So show me the time that you donated to the charities that are about that cause, or the money that you donated to those charities. Oh, well, hey, I'm a busy person, or You know, it's just like, because it's easy. It's easy to go on social media and say, oh, this is stupid. You know, it's like, and I get it. I get it. Support isn't just time and money. You can show support through, like, you know, conversations with other people, and having dialogues on social media are a way to, like, you know, to show your support for things and to let people know that you want to help and stuff like that. I agree. But it just seems like that's like it's like people who I saw two friends on Facebook recently. They went to town on each other because the one person posted a political thing about, you know, I don't even know, it was something anti-Trump, and another person posted on there and said, you know, I hate Trump as much as much as anyone, but you posting this stuff every day is just as useful as the people who say thoughts and prayers that you make fun of. And it was just like, wow, those two, like, I mean, it was like hammer fists back and forth. Like, and I was like, whoa, and I never really thought of it like that. And I was just like, there's a lot of truth to that. You know, I mean, it's just like, you know, it's like people, like, you know, what they want, and it has help. If somebody says this horrible thing happened and I'm asking for thoughts and prayers, they are comforted and helped by people that say, I'm thinking of you, I'm praying for you, I hope you find peace. That helps them, right? But it's like, it's the same thing as like, oh, well, when people like log into their Facebook account and, you know, and they have a political feeling, and then they see their people they're friends with that have likewise political beliefs, and they're posting their political feelings and links and whatever, they're helped by that, right? It makes them feel like, yes, you know, this is something, this is information I can use, this is information I can, and I got it. I mean, it was like, but that guy, man, he was really mad that, like, he got called out like that. And I think, and I don't know, but I mean, in what makes people the most angry when they're forced to, like, look at themselves and realize, wow, I'm maybe, or like, you're most angry when somebody, like, really sticks it to you, right? I mean, like, when you actually have to look at yourself and say, maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe I am kind of an a-hole, you know, and because our first response is to start, you know, punching back as soon as somebody says something to us. I don't know. I've been talking forever. I'm at this point now. So when I see somebody saying, you know, it's like, oh, you know, this publisher is shitty. Why? What publisher? Oh, well, it's not my place to name them. Well, then shut up.
Yeah, I saw something actually right after Origins that annoyed me. I was like, somebody was like, oh, I just found out that I have a couple games from this designer. I guess I'm going to be scrapping those and putting them for components. There's like 16 comments. It's like, well, who the fuck is it? Just say who it is. If you clearly don't like this person enough to get rid of a game that you enjoyed before because of what they did or their political views or whatever, just say who it is. So, yeah, I agree. I don't like the pussyfooting, but I do like the word pussyfooting.
Well, and that's just it. So it's like there are things like, and I'll say this a lot. One of the things I really admire about Forrest is that he is just, I mean, you just come right out and just like, no.
I think the word you're looking for is unfiltered.
Yes. and you don't give a shit if somebody's like, oh, you know, whatever, go fuck yourself. You know, it's just like, pardon my language, but, you know, and I because I don't have that ability. I get worried about what I'm saying, and in a way, you know, because I work in the industry, I have to have a filter. You know, I can't, you know, I can't be part. I mean, thing is that, like, you know, yeah, I mean, it's just like, so it's just a, I mean, but see, there's a big difference between people that have no filter and like, if somebody's like, oh, I don't have a filter, but then they're just, you know, I don't know what I'm looking for is like, oh, they use it as like, oh, I'm just an a-hole, bop-a-dop-a-do. You know, it's like part of their little like jokety mentality or whatever, which I think is crap. You know, it's just like, but there is something about like, yeah, well, you know, this is how I feel, and I guess, you know, maybe I'm popular, but you know, I guess I'd rather just be honest with you about what I think and what I feel, and you know.
The problem though, Lance, with social media is that it's very difficult to put that kind of emotional energy into arguing about those things. If you don't have the bandwidth to sit and engage with people, it's very difficult, because you don't win those type of thoughts. And isn't this hobby supposed to be about us, you know, positive things rather than just attacking one another about our different beliefs?
Well, no,
I want to chime in, but I missed something when I had to jump in and say something about Forrest because my wife distracted me. So I'm going to say it now. I think that what's interesting about Forrest is I think that he's so free and unfiltered when he talks about this stuff because he's got to be so filtered and controlled with his day job. So I think it's Mr. Forrest and Dr. Hyde.
That is 110% correct. I don't talk to my coworkers more than I have to because I'm worried that my personality is going to slip one of these days. That is absolutely nailed it.
Well, if we're going to get on the I like Forrest Bowers stuff, I personally like Forrest Bowers because his hair is dreamy.
Oh my God.
He makes me laugh. And he likes Nicolas Cage, and at that point, anything else is just icing on the cake.
Boom.
Now back to what Berkey was saying. The other thing that is a huge problem is that people don't realize how much information is carried in inflection and facial expressions and things like that when they communicate. And they think, I mean, you could type a sentence and have 3 different people read it, and they'll get 3 different interpretations. One will say you're being snide, one will say you're being snarky, and it's really just a statement. And I think that there's so many people that refuse to ascribe positive intent when they read something that they're looking for it to be twisted to a way that they can take offense.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I think that's the thing, that those little quips that are in social media, it's very difficult to have good discourse. You know, if you have that body language when you're talking, you can have good conversations and say, okay, well, this is what I think and this is what you think, and I can respect you for thinking that. But you know, in social media, that's not the case, and then it blows up into this huge thing and it becomes this big emotional thing that how many people have the energy to expend that? I don't have the energy to expend that. And so while I have solid beliefs about different things, I'm not going to engage in social media because I don't have the bandwidth for it.
Well, we see stuff like this all the time at the office where you'll get an email chain going back and forth between people that's starting to get heated. And it's because they didn't take the time to walk down the hall to talk to each other in person to understand what they're talking about. It's the misinterpretations, and no one's willing to say they're wrong.
You know, the whole problem with social media, anyways, in my book, is that what it was originally created for and what it is now just isn't the same anymore. Like back when social media was fun, when people just posted pictures of their family or what they were eating or the cool places they were going. As soon as social media got riddled with political and agendas is when social media for me is just like, I would love to cancel my Facebook account. I would love it. But a lot of it is, you know, there's the only way I'll talk to half of my family that doesn't live near here that see pictures of the kids and stuff. It's sad that the reasons I want to use it, and then there are so many reasons why I just wish it would go away. And
so dump it. So dump it and start a website.
Yeah, I thought about it. I really have. I honestly have. My wife quit. She quit social media probably about 5 years ago. She got off Facebook. She just got tired of it, and that wasn't even nearly as toxic as it is today. It really is a shame.
Well, I got something to say to you. Thoughts and prayers.
There's a really good point there too. I was thinking about when social media first started, and for me it was, you know, AOL Instant Messenger to a certain degree, and
chat rooms.
And think about who your friends were back then. You knew those people. You had a lot of physical, those are people that you did not. I don't know. I just feel like now it's getting more and more and more. And I even saw it on a Facebook commercial. Then you met your friends of your friends. So maybe that you'll start adding this one guy you met this one time 6 years ago. And you don't care if you argue with those people. So it just creates this toxic environment where if this guy doesn't like me, I don't fucking care. Who the fuck's this guy? I met him 4 years ago at a party.
Yeah, that's true. It's a lot easier to piss people off if you don't see them in your day-to-day life. But
those types of things never existed before, right? You could not contact people outside of your friend circle.
Right. So all your beliefs are generally similar to the people you hang out with. So these are kind of arguments.
Tearing the world apart.
It is.
The only reason
it really is.
MySpace. Like, the only reason fighting on MySpace.
I like Friendster.
The only reason that I ever got on social media to begin with was to keep track of what was going on with my kids because I knew they were on it. And so I wanted to make sure that I could understand what they were getting into. But, now they've moved on and I'm stuck with these legacy.
They're on Instagram now, dude.
I know, exactly, because that gets deleted.
Snapchat.
Yeah, I don't know. When I originally first got on social media, I thought it was going to be all about porn, but I was sadly mistaken.
Pornhub.com, my friend. It's there for you. And Perky gets up.
No, Hey, actually, I want to ask you something, Lance. So do you think it'd be better if people just name names right off the bat? Like, boom, I hate that guy, blah. His name is blah. Her name is blah.
It's me. I admit it.
No. I mean, the thing is that it's it's exactly like what Forrest said. It's like, he went there and said, so is it me? Is it me that you have a problem with? Like I had somebody, and I mentioned this in our group, but I had somebody recently, like they unfriended, like it was somebody, I ran into them at Origins. And I was like, hey, how you been? I haven't seen you since last year. I think I ran into him at BGG Con. A lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time. Walked up, gave him a hug, asked him, how he's been. He was like, oh, I'm doing this, that, and the other thing. It's amazing. Really, really happy for you. We had like a 5-minute conversation. And then they're like, oh, we'll have to try to play a game this weekend, like you always say, but you never do. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that'd be cool if we actually could do that. It was really good running into you, whatever. Left, walked away. 2 days later.
I gotta run. Good night, guys.
All right.
With you.
Have fun.
Have fun at the castle.
Good seeing you, buddy.
You too. Bye-bye, guys.
So, Bartano going on at Jim's house. But anyway, no. So, I get home Sunday night. I'm getting some work done. I get a Facebook message from this guy, and he says, hey, I'm a really horrible friend. And I was like, okay, why are you a really horrible friend? And he's just like, well, I unfriended you and I blocked you a while back. And I was like, okay. And I was just like, and he's like, no, I just, and I realize now that I was angry with you and I really had no reason to be angry with you. So I'm going to send you a friend request. I hope you accept it. And I was just like, yeah, that's fine. I was
didn't even know you were gone.
Yeah, literally, I had no idea. I mean, I have people that say to me, it's like, oh, I just can't believe this person unfriended me or something like that. Well, how would you know? It
doesn't notify you anymore if you unfriend somebody. They just disappear. You don't.
It never did. Yeah, it never did.
Yeah, and I was just like, and that's
you were
cool.
Counting and looking at your numbers every day.
I have, I don't know how many thousands of friends I have on Facebook just because of industry contact people, right?
Well, you're in
and it's just thing. Well, I mean, yeah, fine, but I mean, I couldn't tell you if I lost 100 of them.
Yeah.
In a day, I'd have no clue. And I don't say that. I don't say that to be a cock. It's one of those things where it's like I don't keep track of it. I don't. I don't know.
Well, I think sometimes too, if you take the effort, I had one backer because we had a few delays on one particular.
You had more than one backer, just so you know.
But he was getting a little bit snarky on social media, and you know, I had a long week and I was tired, and I just thought, crap, I'm just calling this guy. And so I called this guy and I said, I see you're saying some things, you're frustrated, and you know, how can I help? I want to assure you that things are going well, and how can I relieve some of this frustration? And by the time we were done talking, this guy went back on Twitter and said, man, Berkey's the greatest. I can't believe that the guy called me. And here he had these.
You fooled another one.
Driving.
Yep.
You know, but then all of a sudden we're best friends. And sometimes just a little bit of positive communication can fix some of those things. But the problem with social media is, you know, all the other people who are on one side of whatever, they jump on this bandwagon. It's like blood.
It's a dog pile.
And all of a sudden it turns into this
great
thing that didn't have to be, you know?
Mm.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, you know, I can tell you what happened with that phone conversation that I had with Berkey. Is that no? But if it was anything else like that, after the hour and a half that Kevin wouldn't let him get off the phone, he was willing to do anything.
Please, I promise I'll stop calling you dick on Twitter.
I say this out of love for Kevin. There were like, you know, Kevin and I talk we haven't talked as much since, you know, he became the massive you know, board game topper, you know, thousandaire that he is. It's like it was like I would see he's calling, and I tell Rebecca, I tell my wife, I would be like, I'm gonna go downstairs because it's Kevin. It'll be a while. Just, you know, and I love the conversation. He and I would have a great conversation, but I know I was gonna be on the phone, you know, for a chunk of time, because he always called with a purpose, and I think he had a checklist. He's like, okay, you have to know that one. You have to know that one. No, I haven't got to page 2 yet, Lance. Hold on. So
speaking of that, Berkey, congrats. Those tables were freaking everywhere at Origins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks, man.
That had been a lot of work getting that set up.
You completely, I mean, you hit it at like the exact right time. I mean, like it was a weird. I mean, it helps that like you made an extremely high quality item as well, but talk about like
perfect storm.
Yeah, perfect timing. I mean, it was just like, you know, I mean, hey, we all want like a cool thing to play our games on top of, and I don't want to spend $3,000, but here's this guy, and he's got a cheap option for me, and it was just like, bam, off and running.
A cheap option that is not cheap.
Well,
an affordable option.
Yeah,
affordable option.
An affordable option.
Yes. Affordable, high quality, good looking.
For a top-notch quality
Yes.
piece of furniture. So
I can't tell you how many people came up to me and said, "Oh, I backed the wrong horse."
Well,
backed other projects, and after I get this all the time. They look at it and they go, "Oh, this is way better than it looked." And you know, it's like I haven't probably done a good enough job in video and explaining what this.
It's hard to capture it. It's hard to capture it. I guess having dimensions is definitely, you know, the thing.
Yeah, because when you say topper, they immediately automatically think, oh, it's probably cheap quality, but it really isn't. I mean, from a glance, if you didn't look at the legs, you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference between that and a regular game table. You really can't.
Yeah, it's fully functional. I have a dedicated table my dad built me that's a $7,000 beautiful table, but you know, the cost is not in the legs. The cost is in the top, and I didn't skip.
Yeah, that's what the strippers say.
No, it's you know, this is a little off topic, but it's that kind of experience that I was hoping Game Toppers would bring to people, that it would actually enrich their lives, that they could have this portable solution and still not lose anything. They could put it away and have their normal dining table, and not everybody has that dedicated space. So That was the whole goal. And I get stories just right and left of people who are saying, Berkey, you did something I never thought I could have before, and now I have it. And I mean, that's the thing that's fueling me. It's just crazy awesome.
That and the money.
Well, I'm glad it's successful. I hope it'll allow me to do more and better things in the hobby. But you know, the thing that really does drive me is that was the dream. That was, how can I do this to bring this experience that I have with my family portable?
What the hell was that?
Not me. Jim's not here, so it's definitely not queso or whatever his wife was making.
I think that was me.
Was that you?
Yeah.
You blending cannabis over there?
Blending cannabis? What the hell?
He's mixing it into his nacho cheese.
That's nacho cheese. Yeah. So there you go. Anybody else got a grievance? Anything they want to be annoyed by? That annoyed them?
Yeah, I got
Nothing
one
that I want to go over here.
Okay.
This is not political, even though it goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier. But the fact that someone is trying to go full time without paying their dues, that annoys the living shit out of me.
I got that from you, and like, we're not naming names or anything like that, but I mean, you know, isn't that one of those things where the market will just bear it out? You know, I mean,
it got a lot of nerve. You have 1,500 views on your video.
No. Let's not give specifics. Nobody's
gonna be able to figure that out because I said 1,500. There's like 350 reviewers out there.
And for those of you listening, yes, I am completely understanding the hypocritical nature of the fact that I have just said name names and we're not naming names. It's just come on.
I didn't even put that together, but there's a very good reason why this is particular one is.
Yes. So it's you know,
and I don't have a problem with that. I would totally try and do that if I was in that position. I would try and make some money off that, get bigger off that. So I don't have an issue with that. I have a problem with it if you're just like, you just jumping steps. You're jumping big freaking steps there.
Like I said, the market will bear it out, right? If people want to support somebody who, you know, hasn't, as you said, paid their dues, then they will. If they don't, they won't. And come on, I mean, doing reviews or social media, whatever, for board games and trying to do it as a living, I mean, that's a tough road to hoe. And I don't think a lot of people are going to be able to pull it off, honestly. I mean, it's the way it is.
I just listened to John Gets Games announcement. He's stopping reviewing.
Why is that?
Because he doesn't feel like it's strong. It's like he doesn't push forward his channel enough. He doesn't like to play games in a critical way. He wants to have more fun of it.
Oh, is he just doing the gameplays?
He's just gonna do gameplay throughs now. So he dropped it. Yeah, and he's only making enough money to quit his job 2 days a week. Like, he's got a part-time job, so he can work as many or little days as he wants. So
it's not fun all the time.
Dropped it. He's been doing it for a long time now, and he's only got 2 days a week. He's paid for in life. Yeah. It's tough.
Well, the other ones I know that do it are Secret Cabal guy, Rado. Well, somebody opened up their wallets.
You still got to prove yourself to the industry.
He was already making a living off of that, but even before that,
through crowdfunding.
But that's because he's amazing. We should just do
it. Doing it for 10 plus years, right? It takes a long time.
I still get super excited whenever I see a video.
Like that special lightning in a jar kind of person.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if we've seen that happen on board games yet.
No. I'm trying to be like the budget version of Rodney. Like Berkey's like Berkey's tabletops, which are like the budget version of like the Geek Sheet. I'm like the budget version of Rodney. and it doesn't pay. It doesn't pay much. It pays peanuts.
You buy a coffee.
Yeah. I'm ready now.
YouTube Bunny is like not great.
You're
Yeah.
board game geek ready, right, Barry?
You're ready for it to be powered by it.
That would be nice.
I do have another grievance, a gaming related grievance, nonetheless.
Wow.
Upper Deck, screw you. Screw you for
What?
pissing with the Marvel license. I am so hot about they got the new game, which
Contest
I'm
of
assuming
Champions.
Contest of Champions. It
Yep.
is broken as hell. You can
Mhm.
get killed on the first turn without even having a turn. You travel from place to place. There's a broken strategy, completely broken, like 100%. Like you can score 12 points on a turn out of 21. Oh my god! There's a reason why there's no reviews on it yet, except for mine, and that's because I don't think they wanted to let this cat out of the bag about how bad this game is. It is a pile of steaming crap, and they should be ashamed of themselves for not playtesting it. Just
Name and shame. Welcome to the Name and Shame Alaboom.
I'm a reviewer.
I played
You're
it.
sure you're playing by the rules, right?
I played it
Yes.
a couple weeks ago, and I was not.
They doubled down in the rules. So the biggest problem with this game is that you can fly. If you have a character that can fly, you can go from point A to point B to point C to point D to point E on your turn. And you can pick up points at every single planet you go to without interacting with anyone. So if you have a character like Thor who can just fly wherever he wants, the easiest and the optimal strategy, and the only smart strategy, is just to fly around, not even touch anybody, and then just be like, oh, I'm done. I picked up 10 points there. And then you can kill somebody in the first round, and it's not hard. It's not like, it's like, oh man, it'd be some crazy circumstance where I could kill somebody in the first round. If you have 3 people picking on one person, they're dead before they get a turn. I don't understand. I don't think it was play tested. It's god awful. God awful, and they pissed away an amazing license with amazing components and a really cool idea. So there's my grievance.
There you have it.
What was the name of that game? What was the name of that game?
Marvel Contest of Champions.
Yep.
Battle Realms or something. They call it Battle Realms.
It was on
system.
Geek and Sundry.
Mm.
It was on
yeah,
Table-
I think there's a how to play video.
Tabletop Day.
Mm.
Yep, they dropped the ball on that. There's a reason why there's not a Miami Dice video on that leading up to Gen Con. Because, no, I'm serious. I legitimately believe that there is a reason that there is no reviews except for the one I just posted yesterday, because they did not want to let people know how bad that game was before they started selling it in order.
So you think they didn't send out review copies, and that the only people that they got it are people that actually went out and bought it?
I think there's a reason why there's no reviews, despite the fact it is a Marvel game with really cool components. Like, you have these standees of Ant-Man and Thor and Captain America. Are you telling me that if you were proud of that game, you wouldn't send it to all the reviewers you could? You wouldn't get to the Game Boy Geek? You wouldn't try and get it to Tom Vassell beforehand to get that buzz going up? I definitely believe they knew they had a piece of crap there, and they tried to hide that scent.
They probably are trying to market it for a different audience, not the serious board gamers, but for like
it's a mass market game. It's cheap. Yeah. It's like $30, and it's light. It's easy to play, and I guarantee its market is not us. Its market is the kids that are going to see it at Barnes and Noble or Target or wherever else Upper Deck distributes through.
I had not thought of that. It still does not make it a better game.
Right, but it's no different than saying, like, I mean, it is in essence a much lighter and worse version of King of Tokyo. It's basically that really super light strategy game that they're banking on the Marvel license being enough to have a good sales number for it.
I agree to a certain extent, but you still have to put safeguards in your game where someone can't get killed in the first round. I mean, come on.
Oh, come on. Bang was like that forever and still is.
Werewolf.
Well, yeah. That's kind of in the design. Somebody dies, though.
I used to, whenever we played Bang, like my buddy Jason, like we would just purposely try to kill him every single time before he had a turn. And I'll play a Bang card against Jason. What? Why? I don't know. I'm your deputy. Just like, good times.
you remember that time we killed Jason? Oh yeah. When?
Yeah.
Every time. Oh.
Every time. Like the one time he actually had a turn, he tried to use dynamite, then it blew up on him. So we all laughed. And there was much rejoicing.
And talking about grievances. Let's see if I can make this funny. You know, earlier, Lance, you were talking about when Berkey phoned you, and you have to like say to your wife, "Excuse me, I'll be in the basement for a few hours."
Yes.
Oh no, I need to go.
You don't have to do a podcast with him. Where I try to do it as quick as possible. Try to get through the show as quick as possible. But no, Berkey has this wonderful take on everything that he says, and the show just gets longer and longer and longer. Oh,
I'm just glad I don't have to edit it.
Yeah,
Kevin definitely belongs to the same world I do, where why use 10 words to describe something when you could use 30?
I was about to say 100.
So you're saying doing a podcast with Berkey is equivalent to getting Lance to talk about The Last Jedi?
About how that sucks. That movie is
Or some obscure 1980s RPG?
There's nothing wrong with obscure RPGs.
Hey, I'm nothing if I am not concise.
yeah, and adorable.
You're not concerned?
Speaking of adorable people, Nils will be at I'm very excited that Nils will be at Gen Con. I haven't seen
Yeah, I
Nils
heard
in a
that
while.
today for the first time. I was happy to hear it too. I haven't seen him in a while.
Who's he working for?
Golden Egg.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where's Anthony?
Rumor has it he's going to be security.
Well, maybe I'll actually get my copy of Airlines because I like Nils and he likes me, so maybe I can get him to hook me up.
Alon recently said that that's they're going to.
So here's the deal with that. Okay, we've had this discussion, it's been one of my grievances for at least 3 grievances now. So yes, he did reach out to backers and he gave them 3 choices to try to make it right, which I commend him for. He finally decided after the 8-month silence to come clean and try to figure it out. So you could either ask for a refund, but he couldn't give it to you now. He'd have to wait until he earned enough capital to get the refunds out, which would be by selling other product. He offered to give you 2 other games from his library, which was the last one he kickstarted in another older game. He would give those 2 games and ship them immediately since he had them in the warehouse in replacement of Airlines. Or B, you could still get Airlines, but he had to wait until his company made enough money to finish the manufacturing and production of the game, and then get them shipped out. So those are the 3 things he's trying to do to make it right. But if you didn't choose B, which was to get the 2 games right now, there is no timetable and no idea when you'll either get your refund and or your game. So, and he actually pleaded with his backers to not choose A, the refund, because that would hurt his company the most, which I'm sure is what most of the backers did. I went ahead and just said, B, get me Airlines whenever you get it done. I'll just wait for it because I wanted the game. It looked interesting. And that's honestly all I ever wanted was communication and the game eventually.
Yeah.
So we'll see if the communication continues because that was one update like a week or 2 ago. The last time we got an update, it went 7 months between the next update. So we'll see if he continues to stay forthright and try to make this right. But I'm still not happy with Golden Egg. I still wouldn't buy any other products, but I will give him the benefit of the doubt if he at least fixes this issue. At least I won't have a hatred towards that company.
Yeah.
The Lazy Gamer guy has actually given us an update every month. I'm
a backer with you on that. And
I actually
always said we're never gonna get.
There's actually I know of 2 other people in my area that are backers as well, and I reached out to him. I said, if we, and he didn't respond because I'm sure he doesn't have very many done, but he's talking about local backers. I was like, would you be all right with the idea of me reaching out to Minnesota or North Dakota backers and saying, look, me and this other guy will drive up
Yeah,
to,
me and you. We'll drive
well,
up to Canada. We'll go up to Winnipeg and pick it up.
yeah, we'll go to Winnipeg as soon as all of them are done. All of them are done for like Minneapolis, like the Minnesota area. Like
They just legalized marijuana.
Hey,
so,
hey, listen, Lance.
so Forest is in.
Lance, I would do that.
Road trip.
I would go up there and pick up all of those that we could deliver, and I would deliver them through my fulfillment for those people.
All right. Well, I'll add that. I'll add that we could do that. You know, I just like look, just you know, and you know, and just because I don't know. I mean, like the guy wants to do right. Just why is it that the people that like have and I try to be nice, but I mean, why is it the people that like have like the most issues with fulfillment on Kickstarters have the most shitty things go wrong in their life? It's like, oh, my car got ran into. Oh, I you know, like a tree fell on my roof. You know, and it's just like there's this like actual.
I've never heard anybody tell the stories that guy has told. I mean, it's horrific. I mean, if it's all true, it's horrific.
What's even worse is why is it all the Kickstarters that have the worst problems and fail the most interesting ones that you want to actually deliver? Like, why can't it be the one game you're like, you know, that looks kind of cool, I'll just back that, and if it doesn't deliver, you're like, I don't give a crap.
The $12 card game doesn't go belly up.
Exactly. Not the $150 or the $300 or the $75 game. It's, you know, yeah, if the deck builder, the guy ran out with the money and you're out $15, you're like, all right, whatever, I'll never buy from him again. Check, I'm done. But when it's the $300 cool, unique RPG thing or the $80 game plus $20 shipping, those are the ones that you're like, mother effer, just give me my crap.
Hey, you want to hear a crazy funny story? You gotta hear this. Okay, yes, you do. Okay, so I get this back.
Yes, you do. I know what's best for you.
He calls and he says, we want to cancel our order. It's been taking too long for the luxuriant Watson to come out. That was our last batch. Anyway, a few delays, but really good communication. Long and short of it, he sends me this email, wants to cancel it, and his words are, "My wife thinks this is a scam." And so I replied to him, and I said, "Well, we don't refund because your wife thinks it's a scam, but I want to assure you this is the way it is." And it so happened this guy hadn't got our updates and so forth. And so he emails me back and he says, "Well, I just had to explain it to my wife." He said, "Can I buy a rail bundle?" And so he actually added to his order. Now he has his order, and the guy is just like crazy excited and posting all kinds of crazy pictures, and he's buying more mats and all kinds of stuff. So it's kind of interesting, you know, how people take different things.
Yeah, it is totally. But you know, I don't know. It's
Speaking of which, I do want to mention Terminator card game, Space Go Productions.
Son of a bitch, Barry.
Yeah,
got it.
I got my airlines.
That is dead in the water. They have not sent out an update since May 24th, and I think that's done.
Which one? Oh, the one that did a public funding.
Yeah, the Terminator and the Dead Alive. Their last message was very, very short and concise. It was
that's the company that tried selling stock in their company to try to finish the production of the games. That's games not coming out.
Yep. With the apparent failure of the equity crowdfunding campaign, we've taken a step back to regroup and consider a number of options. Some paths forward are presented to us. So we need a few weeks to find out our best path. As soon as we find the best path forward, you will be the first to know.
So, Barry, where did you get that copy of Airlines?
I picked that up the year that it came out, so it was 2016.
That was at Essen.
At Essen.
Yeah, he had some copies at Essen.
Yeah, he was selling at Essen, even though he never fulfilled the backers. That was the thing that really pissed most people off.
And then they were telling me when I picked it up, I said that there might be some cards missing. And guess what?
Apparently the planes were.
Got it home. Yeah, and the cards were missing. The planes were a bit bendy, but a bit of hot water and love and tender stroking and You see,
Caressing.
they became stiff again in the right position.
Did you get your replacement cards?
Yeah, I picked my cards back up at this in the following year. So
hey, I'm sorry to interrupt you here. Hold on a second here. I hope you can see this. Yeah, a little spider buddy coming over here to say hi to me.
Cool. Brown recluse.
It's not a brown recluse.
It looks brown.
So what does Lance do with that spider?
I don't know. He popped up here to say hello.
Can I eat it? Eat it.
No, I'm not gonna eat it. I you know what? People are always freaking out about spiders. My family freaks out about them. It's like, having spiders in your basement is not a bad thing because most of them don't make webs, and they kill the other critters in your. The vast majority of the spiders that live in your basement do not make webs, Brookie. They are
smash them.
They are hunters that kill the other annoying things like crickets and things like that are in your basement. So
I don't know what kind of basement you guys have. I don't have bugs in my basement. Jesus, man.
Well, I got all kinds of mosquitoes out here. I'm ready to call it quits.
He's got sharks in his basement.
That's right, I do. I do.
Sharks in the basement. Sorry, snakes. As my snakes on a plane impersonation, but it's terrible.
That was pretty terrible.
So how do you know that's on the brown recluse signs?
Because brown recluse don't live this far north.
Oh, okay. Yeah, one of my friends got bitten by one on his stomach, right on his belly. They had to use an ice cream scoop to extract the infection.
Okay. Time out. Hey, hold on. Did he see the spider? Did he see the spider?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, because brown recluse spider bites or necrotic spider bites, are one of the most over misdiagnosed things by doctors. So people are like, "Oh, I got a brown recluse spider bite." It's it's the number of people that are actually bitten by them is compared to the ones that are diagnosed.
Are you starting?
What the hell are we talking about?
Did you know they made a scalpel sharp ice cream scoop?
I hope they washed it before they had ice cream after he.
My point is that you can
it's toppings.
6 or 7 years ago, my leg hurt. I thought I pulled a muscle in my leg. And I was hobbled around. It was summer, and I was playing softball, and I was like, man, I really yanked a muscle in my leg, and it really, really hurt. And so then I took some ibuprofen, and I put some ice on it, and I went to bed. The next morning I woke up, it still hurt like crazy, and I was like, this is dumb, So I went to work and just kind of elevated my leg, and I got home that night, and I was like, man, this really hurts. And I took my pants off, and it was on the back of my leg. And Rebecca was like, oh my God, what is wrong with your leg? And I was like, what do you mean what's wrong? I hurt my leg. And I told you that. No, I had this huge, it was basically red, and it had these, it was infected. So I ended up going to the doctor, and they're like, yeah, it's you have basically one of the, it was just a weird thing happened where one of the sweat glands in my leg got clogged, and
your own hair.
Well, who knows what the reason was? Yeah. And it just, instead of the body clearing it out and taking care of it, it got infected, and I actually got cellulitis. And he's like, this is actually a really serious thing. He's like, you're still young and stuff, but kids or older people that get cellulitis, it can kill them if you don't get antibiotics. And I was just like, well, how does this happen? He's like, oh, it's just random happenstance. He's like, it's just. So I was like, oh, all right, and then that's what he told me the story about. He's like, most doctors will look at this and they'll say, oh, you got a spider bite, and that's how it happens. Because he said, and he showed me a picture of where it was, and there was basically what looked like this little tiny, looks like fang hole, like something had bitten me. And he said the problem with people that say it's a brown recluse spider is that he said their fangs, unless it's a really big one, they aren't long enough to actually pierce far enough into your skin for it to bother you, and they have no reason to bite you, none whatsoever. It's just like, so he's just like,
if they know you, they want to bite you.
yeah. So the point is that it's like, yes, I'm not denying that your friend probably had a hideous infection on his stomach, and I'm not denying that they had to use that ice cream scoop thing from the Middle Ages to save him.
Yep.
But the chances, unless he saw the spider, the chances that it was a brown recluse spider bite are like 1 in 10.
Man, stop victim blaming.
It's pretty good odds.
Well,
I mean, in Texas, they're here.
I know. But
High five, lads. I had the same problem. I had a hair that curled and grew back in. And where was yours? Mine's on my bum. Do you want to see it?
Maybe.
No, but seriously, is yours still red? Mine's still red after like 20 years.
No.
I'm sorry to tell you, Barry, but that red bum issue is not from a spider bite.
Oh dear. Okay. I'll see you later. Bye. Hello.
Hey, the
Are you
mosquitoes are
watching,
getting to me.
World
I
Cup?
gotta go, guys.
Night, Berkey.
Good night, Kevin.
Hey,
Good talking
Lance.
to you, brother. What's
See you,
up?
Kevin. See you,
I
Kevin.
did a pool for World Cup, but I'm not watching the games. I'm just going to wait and see how I do at the
I've
end.
been watching the summer games. I got a couple games on queue, but I'm leaving at like 7 a.m. tomorrow, so I can't really watch anything.
Wow.
So-
Yeah.
Not gonna complain too hard. You see, they stopped production on all the Star Wars spin-off movies.
No.
Yay!
So
What's
that
up with that?
Yeah.
Well,
So
well, that's because
Solo was a failure.
it's supposedly because what's her face is out in September.
Kathleen
So-
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Yeah.
She got outed finally.
Well,
Really?
no, it's just like that's the rumor that in September she'll be stepping down and somebody else is going to take over that part. And so I'm sure maybe, I don't know for sure, but they stopped production because they're going to bring somebody else in and they're going to have their own thing to do it.
I'm guessing it's because Solo was kind of a drag.
Now, did that lose money or did that just not do as well as they were hoping? Does anybody know?
Well, I think the problem is that it had an extremely large budget because they filmed it 3 times, basically. They had the first director on it, then they had to go back and redo it, and then they had to redo it again. So the budget for the movie was inflated like almost double what it should have been. So whether it makes money or not, it's not going to make a lot of money because originally I think it was expected to only cost like $200 million. And I think with all the reshoots and the recastings and the new directors and stuff, it ended up doubling that. So it was going to be tough to break even anyway. So they're behind the 8 ball before they even got started. And I'm sure it didn't do great considering it went up against Deadpool 2. And, it didn't have that much time between then and then, it came out at a bad time.
Memorial Day weekend kind of sucks, I think.
Yeah. No, that's like the worst weekend ever to release a movie. So, I don't know. Who knows? What do I know? I don't know anything.
Do you think like in 10 or 20 years that it will be a cult film, Solo?
No. It was good, but I don't think it was. Yeah. I don't think.
I don't know.
I still haven't seen it yet.
No, me neither.
I honestly wasn't hyped about it. It was the movie I didn't want.
The only new Star Wars film I've seen and bought was Rogue One, and that was serviceable.
Well, Rogue One was great. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I like Rogue One a lot. I definitely think it's better than Solo.
I can't say because I haven't seen Solo, but I did like Rogue One. I liked Rogue One. I wouldn't say it was great, but I liked it better than any of the prequels, and better than the new trilogy stuff, but not better than the old trilogy stuff.
Yeah.
So it kind of falls right in the middle for me. Like if I had to rate them, it'd be in the top 6.
Yeah, it'd be in the top 3.
Well, it's just weird that people can go to see so many Marvel movies in a year and they can't go to see one Star Wars movie.
I'll tell you what, I used to be a much bigger Star Wars fan than Marvel, but that has swayed dramatically in the last 3 or 4 years.
I think part of the reason is just the different tone of the Marvel movies. Like, I'm going into Ant-Man, and I'm expecting another heist movie. You know, I'm expecting like a cool adventure where they're doing something. And then I'll go into Captain America, and I'll expect, oh, cool, I'm noble. I'm going to go fight bad guys, and, I'm a good guy. Then I go to Iron Man, and I expect, he's going to be kind of an anti-hero, but still a good guy. I mean, they each have their own different flavor. Whereas these ones, aside from Rogue One, I feel like a lot of them just kind of blend together. That same Disney action adventure sort of thing.
Well, they've been better executed, and on top of that, they've connected the movies so much better in Marvel than they have with the Star Wars movies. The connection between 7 and 8, there was none. It felt like two different franchises trying to mash movies together. They've basically just dropped the ball going from 7 to 8, and I don't feel like that in any of the Marvel movies. Maybe with the exception of the early Hulk movies weren't all that great, at least in my opinion.
The Thor films all feel different.
The second and third. Though the second Thor movie I didn't care for. I liked Ragnarok and I liked the original, but yeah, they've only had a few missteps, but they've more than made up for it with the ones that really hit. So, whereas the Star Wars movies, other than the original trilogy, have all felt like missteps, but maybe with the exception of Rogue One being just a pretty solid movie, they've all felt like they've slipped up one way or another. The prequels and then the new trilogy. I mean, I liked Force Awakens wasn't horrible, but saying it's not horrible versus amazing like you do with almost every Marvel movie.
None of these movies I'm like, oh, that was great. But no, it's just that was okay.
Yeah,
I think I just don't like action adventure movies anymore. Like, I want a story.
Yeah, I'm finding most of the
that with some action. Like,
did you like the Indiana Jones movies?
No, I mean, yeah.
Did you like National Treasure?
I just had my kids. I had my daughter watch National Treasure for the first time ever. So, and she thought it was cool.
I still think they're great movies. I really enjoyed the hell out of those movies.
You were probably high when you watched them.
I guess Thor was the biggest one I liked the most recent, but that was just because it was goofy.
Well, what?
Thor.
Oh, Ragnarok.
Oh yeah,
but it was so different and so goofy.
Well, it was, I mean, and they had it was like weird. It was like they had I guess I mentioned to somebody, I was like, it's really nice seeing Jeff Goldblum play Jeff Goldblum, no matter what. It was just like
he really showed up for this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like. Because that's what it was. It was just like, okay, so you're gonna be the collector. Okay, so what's my inspiration? No, just be Jeff Goldblum. You're gonna, the Grandmaster. Sorry, the Grandmaster. It's just like, oh, okay, I mean, it was, I mean,
I just want more intellect in the movie, and I don't know if they can do that. But
you want them to do what?
Intellect. I don't know, something smarter.
Well, no. If you go back and think of Thor Ragnarok and you kind of go top to bottom, like all of the they integrated it. They threw Doctor Strange in there, and Doctor Strange, his whole like interaction with Thor was funny. Like everything being knocked over and refilling his beer mug and that whole thing. I mean, it was like the movie went down and hit the buttons, like you knew what was going to happen the whole way, right? And but it had those chill moments where it's like, where when he's being held down and she says, tell me again, what were you the god of? And then like the Led Zeppelin music hit.
Yeah. There was some definitely fan service in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it did a lot of fan service, and like I've said many times over. So, what's his face who played the Executioner? The character.
Yeah.
The moment where he's got the two machine guns.
Machine guns, yeah.
And he two guns. That's right out of the comics. I could find the comic panel of him, you know, like, during basically and that's like that was a like late 80s, early 90s, maybe even late 80s. Maybe it wasn't. It was a late 80s comics Ragnarok happening in the Thor universe.
That was the only bit that I actually enjoyed about the film, was when Carl Urban, he turned around, you know, he was the underling, and all of a sudden he just decided he's going to be a hero. He gets the guns, and I laughed. That was the only time that I laughed in the film. Apart from that, it was just a popcorn movie. Pretty
Hard
kind
man
of.
Please.
Yeah,
I'm not a hard man to please. I like Jaws. I'm not hard to please.
No, that's true. Can't say anything about that.
It's like one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
What
That's
movie?
why I love Forrest.
Jaws.
That's right.
Jaws is great.
Yeah.
That movie scared the piss out of me when I was a kid.
Still scares the piss out of me.
I mean,
I'm trying to remember.
for a minute.
Well, no. So did any of you seen Hereditary yet? I know Forrest has.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that movie. I have not been that terrified since I was 12 or 13 for the Blair Witch Project.
Oh my god, you were terrified for that.
You were scared for the Blair Witch Project?
Yeah, I was like 13 years old, scared the hell out of me. I think it was real. Like, I used to be like, man, guys, this is real stuff. I'm gonna go there when I get 18. I'm gonna go camp in the woods.
I saw that in the theater and I got nauseous. Nauseated.
I did too.
It was like so much yum.
Well,
it got to the end and it's like, Ray, I can get the fuck out of here. Hey.
Look at my screen here.
Oh,
so that's from like a Thor comic from like 1988 or 89.
The Death of the Executioner.
And that's Scourge the Executioner, and the guys, the people charging up. I mean, that was the end. That was the end battle, and like at the very end, like he decides he's going to hold off Hell's demons to let the rest of the Asgardians live. And he was always a villain, always a villain. And then Thor and the Warriors 3 drink a toast to his memory, and they watch as the Valkyries take his soul to Valhalla. So, but there you go.
Annihilation.
What now?
It just came out on like DVD or whatever. Annihilation with Natalie Portman.
No, I didn't see that.
It's pretty good.
Is that the one where like husband gets lost behind some bubble or something and she goes in after him?
Yeah, they have the shimmer, the rainbow shimmer thing.
Really good. Yeah.
The effects are awesome in that movie, and the soundtrack is phenomenal. It is really great.
I saw the previews for it.
It's got Oscar Isaac in it. I think it's kind of underrated. I mean, I feel like it didn't really get any real notice, but it's got some kind of really scary stuff in there. And cool sci-fi.
Go see Hereditary. That movie that'll screw you up.
Hereditary, okay.
I will say that's a coin toss movie. Like everybody I've talked to, they're like, "Oh my god, that's incredible! It's the best horror movie I've seen 10 years." Or they're like, "That movie was stupid and boring, and I hated it." And it's been pretty evenly split between the 7 or 8 people I actually know who I've talked to about it, like in person. Like if you like character development and a story and you don't mind like some slow pacing, I think you'll love it. But if not, like, because I saw it the night it opened and it was a late night crowd, and I could tell half the crowd hated the movie. Like they were laughing and just, yeah.
It's it'll test you too. It'll test what you're. I mean, I think it
test your metal.
Well, it works so well because it really makes you. I don't want to say anything to give away, but I mean, no. It really pushes your comfort zone, but not in the way that like. I don't know. Forrest, help me out here. It's like it pushes your comfort zone in a way that like it isn't like, oh, it's not like torture porn pushes your comfort zone. It just really makes you uneasy.
It's grounded in reality too. That's the thing that really, like, a lot of the story you're like, oh man, that could happen. And then Yeah, and it's a really slow burn, and just even thinking about the movie, I'm getting goosebumps. Like there were a couple moments in the movie where I legitimately squealed in terror. I was like, "Oh God!" And not like jump scare, like like, "Oh, there's a dog that ran across the dark night" or something. Like, it just, oh man! In the ending, like there were people, no, not like screaming in the movie theater at certain points, like, "Oh God!" Like, yeah, it's
not
All right. Well, I'll get it when it comes out on download.
Well, I'll say this. Oh, the other thing, and I'll shut up, is that no, like I
Here comes
like
the spoiler.
No, there's no spoilers. So, remember that like the horror movie like last year, Witch, and everybody was like, oh, that was like,
yeah,
that was like this movie, and I was like, I was just laughing at that movie.
That's a good comparison. I think there's a lot of similarities between those, and I didn't like The Witch that much, but
yeah, I was just kind of like, this is dumb. Like there was too many things. I was just like, whatever. Can we just hit the fast forward so we can get to the ending here? But no, I didn't feel that. I mean, I think it had a hell of a lot to do with the actress they got for the little girl.
Oh, the girl. I was going to say the mom.
The mom as well. But I mean. The little girl, I was just, I don't know. It's something about...
That was her first action gig, too.
Yeah.
She's creepy.
Yeah. Creepy kids, man. Creepy kids are there was a rather unforgettable horror movie that came out like 3 or 4 years ago that was...
Forgotten.
No, it was like about this girl that she goes to this garage sale with her dad, and she buys this box, and the box had like an evil spirit inside of it or something like that, and then it slowly starts taking her over, and like the girl is all like happiness and light, and then it's just like this direct, immediate change. Like
what kind of box? Like a box for a board game, or a box that board games come in, or?
No,
I've seen kids play with cardboard boxes. You play in your toy, and then the box is not.
It was like
possesses them. They have to wear the box. They have to cut holes in the box so they can stick their arms out, and they just become possessed. And then they think they're a robot, like Fry.
It was like a little curio box. Like
possession.
I'll see if I can find some photos.
and that had some creepy moments, but ultimately that also just like it was like that movie where it was like it had like 80% of wonderful great buildup, and then like at the last 20% it became chasing the monster, and it was just kind of like okay, stop.
The possession.
Yeah. Whereas Hereditary, it's like, oh, we're gonna just creep you out, and then we're just gonna not ever really. We're just going to continue creeping you out.
I'm actually planning on seeing it again because I know there's a lot of subtle things that I missed at the beginning that connect towards the end. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing it again.
I'm not totally against the idea of jump scares in movies. I think they can be very helpful and they can do good moments. But I like the jump scares that there's I don't know. I've talked about these before, but I mean, for me, it's like it's cheap when it's like, oh, like the window's open and like the wind's coming in and they go over to close the window and then the cat jumps in the window, and I always thought that was a cheap scare. Like
if I expect a jump scare, that's when I have a problem with it. Like if your movie has had so many of those that I expect it to happen, that's when they start bugging me.
Like when the person's in the bathroom and they open up the medicine cabinet that has the mirror, and you just know when they close it, then something's going to be in the mirror. The other classic is when you open up the fridge door, and then when you close the fridge door, something's there.
There's maggots in the meat.
It's just like that movie Sinister with the demon right behind the woman's face.
Head. Yeah.
Oh, that, I still, I think that, I get chills, because that was, you didn't expect it. It was, because everything's brightly lit, there's no, because that's the other thing about spooky movies I always hate, is, turn on the goddamn lights. Just oh, yeah, every time we go to bed, that's when the spooky monster comes out, Dad. Okay, we're going to turn on all the lights, and we're all going to sleep in the same room. You know, it's just like, okay, get all the lights, get the batteries, get everything turned on. You know, just like whatever. You know, just like because nobody, and that's the thing also that I always hate, like crime procedure dramas that like they go into like the dark areas or they go into like, oh, we're gonna go search this dark hotel room, and they pull out their flashlights and start using their no, turn the lights on. You know, it's like just dumb stuff. I watched, there was like one of the creepiest little YouTube short movies of all time.
There you go. There's a creepy kid that's been possessed by cardboard
box.
Anyway, no, there's this like of like this woman who like she would turn off the lights and she'd see a shadow, and then she turned the lights on and there was nothing there, and like it seemed like it was getting closer all the time, and then so like it was like it's like a 7 or 8 minute video. It's in black and white, and like at one point like she turns the lights off in her room. And then like, you know, she hears something creaking, like the floorboards creaking, and then she turns the lights on. There's nothing there. And so eventually, finally, like she turns the lights on after she hears the noise, and then like the evil, like little, like horrible devil monster is right there next to the bed, smiling at her, and then it's over, and like you know, and that was the entire video. I was like, that's creepy. That was like a creepy little 8-minute video. So they took that premise. And they made it into a movie about something called Lights Out or something like that. That was a shitty movie. It was just like every bit of creepiness that little 8-minute YouTube video was completely shit on and thrown away for that movie.
Then Lights Out the guy about the blind guy.
Yeah, that's it is. I can't remember what it was, but it was just like, you know, it's just all these.
Great.
Well, it was okay, but I mean, it was like, but this other movie about like. It was just like, oh, they figure it out, right? They figure out that whenever the lights are off, this thing can run up and get them. Well, never turn the lights off.
That's yeah, you're right. Lights Out is what you're talking about.
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark is the other one. Yeah.
I remember that. I remember watching the original one as a kid, and at the end when they drag her out and she's like grabs the Instamatic camera off the side table and she's like snapping the flashes. So they let her go for a minute.
Yeah.
Polaroid.
Yeah, but that was her own fault. She had to open up that fireplace in the basement that was a gate to hell.
Yeah.
Well, what happens. That's what happens when you open up gates to hell, you know. Just like...
How was your origins, Anthony?
That was great.
I didn't think you were going to...
Did you have a meetup?
I was waiting for the car to pick me up.
You waited a long time.
Speaking of which, did anybody play Cryptophobia from Panda?
Meant to.
No, Nyctophobia.
It is really, really an interesting game. I don't know if it's a good game, but I know it's really interesting. So it basically is a premise of like this map in front of you, and it's a 3-dimensional map. You're gonna have trees all around. You have to go into there, find your friend, get him back to the car, all the while a vampire's coming at you, and you can throw rocks and stuff at the vampire and throw rocks to make noise, and the vampire goes to that, and the vampire's run by a moderator. But the catch is nobody in the game except for the moderator can see. Like, you wear blackout glasses. Like, straight, you cannot see anything. You have to do everything by your sense of feel. And I demoed the whole game for about 30, 40 minutes, and it was really interesting, but I almost fell asleep. Like, we're in the glass, and you get like the light coming in from the outside. So I just closed my eyes. And I'm sitting there for 30 or 40 minutes, and it's a relatively slow-paced game with 4 players. It's really cool premise, and it really does a great job of you kind of just with your eyes closed, imagining the forest you're in and the different paths and kind of putting it together. But I just don't know if it's going to work having people close their eyes or go blind for 30 or 40 minutes at a time.
Like, you never take your glasses off?
No, you're
blind the whole time.
Yeah, because the only way you know where you are is by feeling things out. And it had like a cool sense of tension, but I don't know.
Never get a big bone.
You could.
Oh no, you know what I'm thinking.
Gave you a big bone? Is that what you said?
It was another horror game that had a big bone in it.
A big bone?
I'm thinking of a Gigamic game. Gigami.
Gigamic.
I think it's a cool idea. I don't know if it's going to be a good game, though. Very interesting. I have to do repeat plays to really get a feel for it. I also thought it was interesting they're coming out with a Target version and a gamer version, which I thought was interesting. Either way, definitely one worth trying, without a doubt.
A PG version and an R-rated version. That's good. Yeah.
Well, there are even different themes too. Like it's a vampire theme for Target, and then it's like an axe murderer theme for hobby gaming.
Okay, so it's the same mechanism but a different game in a way, so to speak.
I imagine there'll be a couple new elements, like some extra layers to it. But yeah.
No, I didn't get to play any games at Origins. No.
Bummer.
Bummer.
Bummer. It is a
bummer.
Speaking of which, I think we should do a meetup at Origins on Wednesday night at Brothers Bar. It is 25-cent chicken wings, and they are absolutely delightful. Just a heads up. They're fantastic. Yeah, it's right across the one street down from North Market, and it is, oh God, the food's so good. We sat there and ate chicken wings and played the mine for like 3 hours.
My flight got canceled coming in. It was really sucky.
Oh,
it was like a 2-hour flight got turned into a 10-hour day of travel.
Private plane, baby. You can afford it.
Let's do it. Everybody cash in. Cash in.
The BGG Express.
Come to Dallas first. I doubt Columbus is a place where they like to relocate the planes to, though.
So I'm not going to Daystar Con.
I'll be there.
I'll be on a cruise.
I'll be on a cruise too.
Yeah.
I'm the special guest.
Yeah. You got that itinerary?
I did. I packed my mucklucks.
Oh shit. Why do you hate Anthony so much? Come on, Aldi, tell me. Say his face.
Name and shame.
Yeah. Name him.
Yeah, you missed my name and shame rant, Anthony.
And then shamed but no name again after that.
But
critical.
No, I want to know what's your thought on like should we actually should people like name who, like, when the vagueness, should they,
when you vague book, should you name the person's name?
Like if you're like, oh, another publisher who just doesn't get it when it comes to blank or whatever, and and then people are like, well, who?
As someone who does vague book occasionally, it depends on what the situation is. Now, a lot of times I will vague book something because it's more of a don't do this stupid crap like this thing, but it's nothing so bad. You remember, you're talking to the guy who called out Eagle Griffin on Twitter by name.
That's because you really dislike the person that was working there.
I just like the whole situation. If it was someone else who did it, I would have did it for them too. It didn't matter. It didn't matter that it was the individual person. If I had gotten that from somebody else, I would have done the same thing. But there's just things that you get that are just stupid, and I'll vague book about it. And there's things that I will vague book about because I know people who need to know about it already know what I'm talking about. Though it's not vague to them. The thing is, it has to be, if it's such an atrocity, then and I feel that strongly about it. Like I am, so adamant. Call them by name, and not only call them by name, put their friggin' Twitter handle on it. Someone called somebody out the other day and didn't didn't use their Twitter handle, so they have no idea this person is saying this shit about them. Like, put it right on there.
I concur.
What does vague book mean?
Vague book is when you say something but don't say what it actually is.
Like, for instance, here's a perfect
complain
example.
about something, but you don't name names.
That damn guy from the Secret Cabal that's on Lance's show every week is such an a-hole. Oh, but I'm not going to name him. That's vague booking.
Well, that's not as vague as, oh, hate this big fat guy with his big mouth all the time open. That's like real vague booking.
Yeah, I love that voice.
Oh, hey, Anthony, we were thinking for your Alaboom name, we could just put the Secret Cabal on your jersey. What are you thinking? No?
It's my last episode of the weekly Alaboom. I'd like to say goodbye, everybody.
See, I had the idea of is that everybody else got to pick both your name and your number on your jersey, and we had to wear them. But then I got voted down because everybody's scared.
Name and shame.
Yeah.
We pull out of a hat, and then you get to pick that person's thing.
Well, no, like I was thinking more of a mutual thing. Like I said, like Aldi's should be DiBiase for Ted DiBiase, and then just a $sign for the number.
But no one would get that.
Exactly. That's what we were trying to tell them.
Because it's friggin' wrestling. No,
it's vague.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. How many people who were in the room at the time did you have to explain who DiBiase was?
They all knew it because we were playing Emperor's Choice in the basement of Bar on 2, and they all got it. So
I like how you name drop the game. Like the name of the game implies that they're wrestling fans.
No, I'm just offering specifics. So yeah, so eat it.
So why don't you
that's fine.
Why don't you just put Austin on the back of his jersey?
Why would we do that? He's the $1 million man. He's the $86 million man. So like $1 million man is like.
But Steve Austin is the $6 million man.
Oh, I thought we were going Aldi 316 to whoop your ass. I thought you were talking about Stone Cold.
So did I. I thought you were talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin 316 says, "I just whipped your ass." That guy still does more merch sales than most of the wrestlers that wrestle now.
He pitched a lifestyle. I mean, there's the thing with him.
Drinking beer and handing out stoners.
And not
Kabuki Kid doesn't know who Ted DiBiase is, so that's a bad choice. She knows everything.
Yeah.
How can you not know how the $1 million man is? He was the Intercontinental belt holder for almost 2 years.
How do you not know about this 1980s wrestler? What the hell is your deal?
How do you not know about this version of Monopoly which exists called Supernatural?
Everybody's funny. Now you're funny too.
Oh,
Lance, what the hell are you doing? Are you making some weird pudding?
Is that Nutella?
No,
it looks like Nutella.
I've already explained what this is. I used it the last of my.
Started again.
It's blackout for the webcam. He's going to spray it across the screen in a minute.
Do you have to take that sample into the doctor tomorrow? You're making it look pretty.
Little school sample.
Everybody's funny. As my grandmother would say, there's comedians starving and you're telling jokes. My grandmother was hilarious.
Have you played that Dungeon Degenerates Behind Your Head?
I have not. Actually, after you told me about what, I'm not going to repeat it, but after you told me what they did to you, I was
Name and shame. Name and shame.
Fine. I'll say it.
No.
Did they?
Private.
What?
That was private. That was private information.
Well, after you told me that,
no,
it made me very angry.
Yes.
Made me very angry. I haven't played it.
What's it called? Dungeon
Vague booking.
No, that was not vague booking. It was never
Vague
public.
booming. Don't be vague booming.
See, I can go side with that one because that's Aldi's business, and if it's different. Like if he wanted to come out and say it, that'd be fine. But he didn't even bring it up, so I can.
I just wonder if he played the game.
Not yet.
What's it called? Dungeon Degenerates.
Yeah, they're doing a big reprint drive. They're gonna start launching Kickstarter for a reprint drive. So.
Oh wow! It's even on the Geek and Sundry thing. Wonder how much that costs.
Geek and Sundry did a thing.
Yeah, they did earlier this year. 1/9/2018. How to play.
Oh, they had money to hire them, huh?
Interesting.
Did I miss the World Cup conversation?
Yes.
Yeah, 2 seconds of it.
I asked if anybody's watching.
I'm
and
watching.
we all said no.
I'm watching. I wasn't meaning to watch. I happened to have the TV on when the Germany-Mexico game happened.
Yeah.
And now I'm hooked.
That's all it takes is just one game.
It's good. It was actually. I've seen
the games are really low scoring.
But they've been exciting. They haven't been boring.
They should add some more noughts
for the most part.
The person who has scored the most goal is his own goal.
Yeah,
his leading scorer, own goal.
They should change football. They should make you score points for the distance that you shot. You know, you kick the ball.
Get extra points.
Yeah,
it needs something.
It needs basketball. Yeah, works in basketball. It needs something. It needs a dice as well, I think. Yeah. I think players should roll dice to see if they're allowed to, you know.
No, Jesus. I was thinking of Rondell. Don't go too random.
Or special powers, you know, someone that's allowed to break the rules, like he's allowed to the offside rule, or one that's allowed to push other players over, or one that's allowed to, you know, cry and get a penalty every time that they cry.
You know that Kung Fu Soccer movie.
Kung Fu
Soccer. I really want there to be. I want
so
this
good.
to be
Shaolin Soccer.
Oh yeah, I remember.
You should watch
I remember seeing the trailers, and it's like another football movie. I don't need it.
Another one? What do you mean?
Yeah, there's loads of. Yeah, there's lots of football movies. There's one with Stallone as well. Did you know?
It was Victory, right? Victory. That was great. That was a good one.
He was in I didn't know that. I thought the only sports movie he did was Over the Top.
No, he did Victory. It's with the Pele's in it.
Yeah, Pele. Yeah, and a few other big names.
There haven't been that many soccer movies. There really haven't.
There's
one with Matt Damon.
There's
Matt Damon.
Invictus.
Invictus.
Like Beckham.
Wildcats.
Yeah.
Wildcats.
There was one with Michael Caine as well, which is pretty similar to Victory.
Better Like Beckham is really good. That's got
there's only one good soccer movie,
Daisy Ridley in it.
That's Shaolin Soccer.
That's what I just said.
Worth watching.
Yeah.
Shaolin Soccer, baby. Though it was eclipsed by the same people that did the Kung Fu Hustle after.
Knightley. Was in that one. Yeah, Invictus was about rugby.
Has anybody seen Kung Fu Hustle? Kung Fu Hustle is amazing.
Danny McBride.
I just rewatched it.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
The X Gang.
Kung Fu Hustle.
Kung Fu Hustle is so good. I like how in the very beginning he shows up, and then like they kick the soccer ball to him, and he does the tricks with the soccer ball, and then stops the soccer ball. Basically, we're not going to do any Shaolin Soccer this time around.
Oh, is it the same guy?
Yeah, same guy.
Hey, can I vent about something?
It's called airing grievances.
Can I air a grievance?
Yes.
All right. So we're in the process of looking to buy a new house.
Yeah.
And we found a house that has been on and off the market for the past 4 years.
Was that a deliberate yawn? Oh, here we go.
No, I'm tired. It's
No. I'm listening. I'm listening.
We're listening.
So they have it listed for the price they have it listed for. We went in and we put in an offer. It was lower than that. Took them 5 days to come back with a counter. The counter offer was the asking price, which I've never heard of before.
Yeah.
Okay. So I basically said, okay, you know what? We're going to play this game. We'll play the game. And so instead of going up a little bit,
went down.
I went right to the middle of what we offered and what their asking price was.
Right.
Went back. They came down literally the slightest little bit. And I went to my agent today. I said, okay, go send another offer in. Offer them $15,000 less than the first offer. And she's like, what? I said, no, $15,000 less than the first offer. And she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm serious. Go back to them and offer them that. And she's like, I talked to the agent. They said, well, they're going to deny it. I said, well, if you tell the agent, then they can carry the house for another 4 years. Because no one else is bidding on this house but me. So you can either take my offer or you can keep paying all the taxes on the house and the mortgage. So
you're such a dick.
So
no, because I know what's going to happen. They're going to come back and say, "Oh, we'll take the original offer," and I'm going to go, "No," and then I'm going to say, and take $5,000 off of the last offer I gave them.
You've been playing too many games.
No, because I've dealt with enough real estate agents. I dealt with enough real estate agents with work to know when a house should be sold. Someone should you should take the offer and be done with it. Because it's owned by a bank as of right now. And I know what that bank has to pay on that house.
Well, but here's when you're dealing with the bank directly, the problem is that you're rarely dealing with the same people with the bids. It's like, I remember there was a house that Rebecca and I wanted when we were looking for houses, and it was the same deal. We put an offer in, we'd wait forever to hear back. They'd come back and they'd give us, and I remember we would like then raise her offer a little bit, and then they would like raise their offer because it was like you were dealing with different departments and different people who didn't have the information from before. And depending upon the size of the bank, they just don't care. I mean, they just like, it's just fine, whatever. We this is already in our budget. We'll eat this price.
Right. But the price it's at right now, they're not eating anything.
Well,
they're basically losing money because I know based on where they price the house, how much money is owed to them on the house.
Well, what's the bank? What bank owns it?
I don't know. The bank is not listed which bank owns it.
Yeah, see, so and I could be wrong here, and you're not stupid, so I don't feel like I'm talking down to you, but I know how mortgage areas work within banks. And I know how banks just like, they just have a budget, and it's just like one of those things where it's like, all right, well, our running function for this. I mean, a bank doesn't, when they gain property, they don't look at it as individual buildings. They look at it as like, what's the line item on the spreadsheet?
Right. And I offer them over the line item, which should be the line item on their spreadsheet based on what they asked for the house. But that they should have taken because the difference in what they were fighting over is what they're going to pay in upkeep and taxes for the additional month.
I feel like I'm maybe losing you on my point, or the point and you're frustrated and I get it, but it's like you're dealing with an entity that has no emotional stake whatsoever in the decision. It's just like they have a
right, but I wasn't appealing to their emotional. I was appealing to their financial.
I understand that, but the financial thing is that okay? Well, go to line 2 on our system that says what is offer. Offer is X. Okay, put that into the machine. The machine says we offer them this. Okay, and that's what the algorithm tells them.
Okay, so now my offer is $15,000 less.
And they'll literally just say denied.
I'm waiting for my algorithm to come back,
and they won't care. You know, I mean, and that's the crummy part. I mean, when Rebecca and I were looking for a house, we found one that we kind of liked, and it was being sold by these people or whatever. It didn't have it didn't have much of a yard, but it did have like a lot of space, and we had 2 dogs, and I was just like, well, this is really going to suck for our dogs, and they're not going to have any yard, and I know I'm going to want to like grill and stuff, and it was just, you know, and it was like, but we put an offer in anyway, and then the people that came back, and it was like, you know, it was like probably like the 6th or 7th house we put an offer in on, and they came back, and it was just like they barely moved on their price, and I was just like, you know what, and we were getting upset, and I said, you know, screw this, let's just build a house. And so then the next day we went out, we found a contractor, we went and bought a lot, you know, and we built the house that we live in right now. We've outgrown this house. We're you know, we're fixing it up so we can sell it and move and go somewhere else. But it's like, you know, and when we were in the process of that, the people that we had put that last offer on the house, who hadn't like who came down like $500 on their asking price or whatever, they contacted our agent and said, oh, well, we'll sell it to you now for your offer. And it was just like, yeah, and the reason why was because they had found a house that they wanted, and they needed to put an offer in on it. They had to have a proof that they were selling their own, you know, and just like, you know, contingent on sale, you know, offer kind of thing. And, you know, it was just, I didn't take joy out of saying no can do, but I mean, it was just like, yeah, I mean, that ship had sailed. And I don't know, house buying and everything like that, it just stresses everybody out. I just, the whole thing sucks.
Yeah. And again, I'm dealing with a non quote unquote human entity in this. I took my original offer and then my counter offer at the beginning, it very businesslike. No emotion from them. And I said, okay, all right, so I come up 5, you come down 5, I go up 2, you come down 2. We meet at this price. And that's what I offered them when they came back from the first.
No, I don't know. I just, buying a house sucks. The whole process of moving sucks. You know, just, I mean, everything about, I don't know. It's one of those you got to do it kind of things, but like I called around to like 6 different vets, you know, finding out how much it's going to cost to spay my dog. You know, just like what a chore that 45 minutes on the phone was today.
There's some YouTube videos that'll walk you through it, Lance.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
Nice one, Scoop. You think it's a chore? How about your damn dog?
Yeah. I always remember that Far Side comic where the dog's leaning over the fence, and he's like, "Hey, I'll see you tomorrow, Rex. I gotta go to the vet to get tutored."
All right, I'm going to bed. It's late.
No, or the other one about the dogs where he says,
I got a pack.
I'm gonna go over to the neighbor's yard, and then he comes back. Hey, you got a magazine?
Have a good trip, Aldi. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
If you end up making the jerseys, you know what I want, man. I trust in Aldi.
Aldi, I'll see you on the luau deck.
Yes, was it the luau? What was the deck?
The promenade.
The promenade. No, in the Love Boat. What was the?
It was the luau deck.
Was it called the luau deck?
The luau deck and the promenade deck.
Yeah, the promenade.
Well, they have a promenade on these ships. I don't know about a luau deck.
Did I ever tell you my story about my brother almost missing a cruise, like a family cruise?
Is this a quick story?
No, this is a quick story. This is a very quick story. No,
you say actual quick story or Lance quick story?
For me, this will be very quick. So, this is when I didn't. This is before I was married. Before I had no money. I didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. But the entire family was going to go on this cruise, and I was like the only person who didn't go, which was fine. I didn't care. I didn't want to go anyway. But my brother and his family, instead of flying to save money, they were going to drive their motorhome from Las Vegas to Florida.
Yeah.
And the effing thing broke down in Georgia. Like it just stopped working. And so it's him, his 3 kids, and his wife, and they're scrambling to figure out a way because they have like 14 hours to get to get there. And he's like, and it's in like this little tiny town in the middle of rat piss nowhere in Georgia. And he's like, he's asking if somebody's got a car he can buy, a car he can rent. Is there an airport nearby that can fly him? He's going to, he found a guy who had a van. Like he's at a service station. This guy pulls up in a van and he said, I will give you $500 cash and pay for the gas if you will drive me to whatever, all the way here. And he was like, yesterday I would have done it. But he said, but I just started a new job this morning. I have to be there in 20 minutes. I can't not work. So the entire time he's calling my mother and he's sitting there and he's just like, I'm going to try to get there. I'm trying to get there. My mom, and this is a story we'll tell at my mom's funeral. And it's just like, she's like, I'll make sure the boat doesn't leave. Don't worry about it. How is this one person going to stop the boat from leaving? So they finally, I forget what it is. They finally get a car. Yeah, I see the phone. Everybody's funny. Now you're funny too. And then, but they go, right.
I'm a starving comedian.
And they're driving like a bat out of hell, and they're in traffic. It's like the middle of the day, and everybody in the car is like, we're gonna miss the boat because they are a half hour late for launch of the boat. And my brother said, there's no way the boat's still gonna be there. And they're like, and he's talking to my mom, and she's like, I'm not gonna let him leave. And he's like, there is a better chance of the sun never rising than my mother not letting us get on this boat. And sure enough, like the gangplank, my mom has 1 foot on the boat, 1 foot on the gangplank, and she said, and like the captain of the boat is right there next to her, and like other like the whatever, like the tour official, and here they come running up. And it was just like, and he's just like, that's my mother. I mean, she will. I mean, if she had left, that guy's life would have been a living hell. She would have driven him absolutely crazy for leaving her son at home.
And stop. A short story in 3 minutes and 5 seconds. That's brilliant. Perfect.
Pretty good.
That is a short story. Right. It's
our happy hour starts on the promenade deck at 7 p.m. Anthony. So make sure you get there on time.
What is that? That is
Love Boat.
But it's hideously loud and annoying.
Yeah, it's a Love Boat theme.
You guys remember Friday Night Love Boat and Fantasy Island? That was a great Friday night.
All right, I gotta get off as well. Bye, guys.
We're expecting you and love, life's sweetest reward.
Horrible.
Aloha.
Aloha, indeed. All right, well, that's a good enough time. We should probably call it a night, I suppose.
Yeah, or a day.
I have videos to edit, so I can't get to sleep anytime soon. Hang out. Well, I guess everybody else left, but I was going to tell Anthony to hang out, and there he is.
I'm here.
Hang out. So, thank you everybody for listening in. Yada 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 yada. Get some sleep. Have a wonderful life, and yeah, that's that then.
Good night.